These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
Time for the opening drive.
Voted the best sports show in New Mexico
For 5 years running. It's the OD in the AM with Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck.
Ramos is going to get the three-point shot up. It's going to come up short, and that's going to do it. The Lobos pull out a three-point victory, 63-60 in a battle in the 2-7 game. The Lobo fans with a huge sigh of relief.
Survive and advance. Survive and advance. Welcome to March. That was JJ Buck. The sigh. Whew. Was Nikki Heckroth Lobato. You heard that here on 95.9 FM and AM 670 Sports Animal, courtesy of Playfly and UNM Sports Properties. Lobos win last night in Vegas, and it was not easy. The women 63-60 over San Diego State. New Mexico advances to the semifinal round of the Mountain West Conference Tournament, which will be tonight in Las Vegas at the Thomas & Mack Center. They will play Colorado State. J.J. Buck will have the call. J.J. Buck is with me. I'm merely Jeff Symbieta. Blessed to be with J.J. Buck this morning after a big victory. I'm wondering, did you pack your bag? Like, were you thinking, holy smoke? It's March, though, man. These tournament games are tight. They tend to all be tight. It's very rare, even in these early rounds, do you have a game that is comfortable. And last night was sure as hell not comfortable.
It wasn't. And this San Diego State team has provided that type of game to the Lobos all year long. It seems like it doesn't matter the year, the time that they play, it's going to be a close game. And we talked about the three-point game at the pit. And the Aztecs, they're big at every position. They're long, they're physical. They really got up into the Lobos. But Jaden De La Cerda, an outstanding performance, 26 points, including the 2 late free throws to give them that 3-point lead with 6 seconds left. A lot of tough basketball late in that contest, and no doubt about it, survive and advance is what you do this time of year.
JDLC, 26 points to go with 4 rebounds. And the free throws, and I feel like I was kind of cheating on you a little bit. I was watching the Mountain West broadcast as I was packing last night, so I couldn't get you two to sync up because you were so far ahead. I couldn't. But when she went to the line, whoever the analyst was like, it was so matter of fact, said she will make these 2 free throws. Like, it's 75% free throw shooter. De La Cerda goes to the line, and she had missed a couple earlier in the game. In fact, at the free throw line, Jaden was 4 for 6. She missed those 2 just a short time previously. But the analyst was like, oh, she will make those. And you heard Mike Bradbury tell you after the game, I did listen to that, that we've got number 23, and that was the difference. I will tell you that, and the other biggest play of the game was made by LaTorra Duff on the defensive side. 10 seconds to go. It's a 1-point game. Lobos have the lead. San Diego State has the ball. And LaTorra Duff took it's a bold call by the official. It was the right call by the official, but LaTorra Duff took a charge that looked like it knocked the wind out of her and kept her down for about a minute. But I thought that was as big a play as anything in that game last night.
Yeah, the difference on Ramos, her drive to the basket, she led with the forearm. Instead of just kind of going up. Yeah, she lowered her shoulder in there, and she was going into the chest of LaTorra Duff all day long because that was the size advantage the Aztecs had, especially with Asa Avenger, the redshirt freshman point guard that was in foul trouble. So Ramos was doing a lot of the ball handling and the physicality, getting in the chest. And that was one that was planted in the head of the official because there was a moment earlier in the fourth quarter a similar play. Ramos goes inside hard, gets some contact, scores. No call on that one, but Tora Duff was like, hey, she is leading with that forearm. Watch what she does. And the ref made the call. And that ref, Lisa Jones, is probably the top official in the conference from what I was told and people talking about Lisa Jones and the games that she officiates in the NCAA tournament. So while San Diego State was losing their mind because it happened right in front of their bench, it was a call. She led with the forearm, and it was huge because she made that shot. And big defensive plays late for the Lobos.
It's a tough call. Like, it is a tough call. And I harken back to Richard Pitino getting a technical foul in Laramie this year, right? A not dissimilar call where Jamal Mashburn, in a 1-point deficit, was it a tie game at that point? I think it was a tie game. Jamal Mashburn got called for an offensive foul inside 10 seconds. It's rare, but I think it was right. Lobos win. Little nervous, though. A little nerve-wracking. They go out, they jump out to like an 18-4 lead, a big lead early. San Diego State comes back, and it's tight before the end of the quarter. It was 18-15 at the end of the first quarter, and then it was just nip and tuck the whole way. I mean, each quarter was played within 3 points. 3-point Lobo advantage in the first quarter, San Diego State by 2 in the second, Lobos by 1 in the third and 1 in the fourth. These two teams were even. This was a 2-7 game in seeding and in numbers. But if you've watched women's basketball over the years, you realize San Diego State has played well against New Mexico, has matched up well against New Mexico. And in fact, JJ, and I know this was not lost on especially the super seniors who have had it happen twice to them, has knocked New Mexico out of this tournament twice over the last 4 or 5 years. They knew going in this was going to be a bear, and it was. And maybe it's tournament tested, but the Lobos improved to 24-8 and move on.
Yeah, this is one get by, and I think the clutch plays late really showed that this team what they can do because it was a game that wasn't pretty. The Lobos did not play well. Look at the percentages overall. They hit 8 3-point shots, but it was not a great percentage. But they got to the foul line, and I think that was the biggest thing in this game is they didn't settle. There were some moments in there where the shots weren't falling. You're like, all right, you need to get back to it. In the first quarter and the fourth quarter, they were able to attack the basket, go inside, challenge San Diego State. Because the matchup to watch was fascinating was Mercedes Staples and Jaden De La Cerda. Staples, the 5'10" senior guard for the Aztecs. Her size, physicality, she was trying to wear on De La Cerda, but De La Cerda had her quickness. And the Lobos ran a lot of good half-court sets to get De La Cerda away from Staples, run her off screens. She hit some big-time shots late in that game. And if you're New Mexico, you're waking up today knowing that Latasia Duff and Tony Anderson can play better. And that's what you're going to need tonight against Colorado State is you got big-time games from two guards, and now it's time for someone else to step up, and they have that ability.
Looking forward to being there with you tonight. JJ's in Vegas. I will be there later today as the opening drive comes to you from Las Vegas. And we'll bring you all the sights and sounds that we can for the Mountain West Conference Tournament. We'll get over to the WAC Tournament, and really looking forward to being out there. Thank you to the partners who are making sure that we are there for you this year. CarCrafter, celebrating 40 years in Albuquerque. Airport parking at exit 221, easier, quicker, smarter. Albuquerque Hispano Chamber of Commerce. Join, connect, thrive. Coleman Vision, perfect game. And Jersey Mike's, a sub above. JJ, you talked about Sophia Ramos, and it feels like this is another one that feels like it's been around for a long time. She was terrific for San Diego State. She ends her career as the only Aztec ever, I don't know if you knew this, to register at least 1,500 points, 500 rebounds, and 400 assists. Tina Hutchinson back in the days, they've had some good players at San Diego State, but she's going to go up there amongst the best. The only Aztec ever to register 1,500 points, 500 rebounds, and 400 assists. And with was it Abinger in foul trouble yesterday? They really needed her, didn't they?
Yeah, she pretty much was their point guard last night and did it all, whether it was attacking the basket, rebounding, scoring from the outside. She's a very good player. She scored 27 points early in the year against New Mexico. And this is just a team that's one of those matchups for the Lobos. They have talent, and especially in that third quarter, they came out and hit some early three-point shots. It was Mallory Adams, a forward, that was getting open on some of the pick and roll coverages that the Lobos were playing, and you're like, oh no, are the Aztecs really going to take off? And they didn't, and neither team could pull away from each other. And sigh of relief. It definitely was one the final few minutes you're wondering, is it going to happen again? Is it going to be another 2-7 matchup? The Aztecs get the Lobos, but it's the plays late in that game on both sides of the floor for New Mexico. Tough plays, which I think it's good that you get that shot early. You come out, you get hit a little bit, you get right back up, you're in the grind, because tonight's game, Colorado State, it's going to be much different, because Colorado State can get more into a wide open contest, so you can expect more offense. Even if you look at the Colorado State Wyoming score, I'm expecting this game to be more at the tempo that the Lobos would like.
It was a nail biter for sure. All right, we got a ton to do this morning, and we're welcoming you into the program at 505-246-0610. That's how to get here, 505-246-0610. You can send emails, Jeff at sportsanimalabq.com, JJ at sportsanimalabq.com. Certainly text the show as well, 505-246-0610. We are on the visual medium. Adrian is producing for you on ProView Networks. You can find us on our Facebook page, The OD in the AM, The OD in the AM, and, of course, on Comcast Channel 26. Stephanie's in this morning. Good morning to you. How are you living?
Good morning.
Thank you for coming in this morning. And, pinch hitting. A-Marie's out this week. JJ Chris Jans is going to join us, the New Mexico State men's basketball coach, at 8:30. As the Aggies are the 1 seed in the WAC tournament, they'll be heading to WAC Vegas here in the next day or two to get ready to start their year or their postseason tournament. The WAC all-conference team and awards were announced yesterday, as were the men's all-Mountain West team. We'll get into that and what you think of that. Big news in the NFL I want to get into. We got to get into the Calvin Ridley thing, as he is suspended for the year for a $1,500 parlay. I'm really interested to see where you all come out on that. DeMarcus Lawrence of the Cowboys was asked to take a pay cut. How did he respond to that? We got the baseball stuff, NBA news. There is so much going on. Looking forward to getting it on the table and in discussion with you. 505-246-0610. Thanks for opting to be with us this morning. It's the opening drive. Jeff Symbieta, J.J. Buck on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
Titus and Tate, a podcast.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
I'm Ben Lucero, president and owner of Indigo Mortgage. We are a locally owned and operated mortgage company right here in New Mexico. This means your loan officers and processors are right here to serve you. Our mortgage divisions include residential, commercial, construction, reverse mortgages, and VA mortgage loan. Indigo Mortgage, because nobody cares more about your mortgage loan.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks. High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
The energy landscape is limitless and ever-changing. Cleaner energy resources are crucial to New Mexico's environment. For 100 years, PNM has utilized cutting-edge technology and employed hard-working New Mexicans to ensure that we have consistent, reliable energy when we need it. For life's loudest moments, quietest moments, and every moment in between. We're dedicated to providing you with energy now and into the future. All you have to do is dream of what to do with it next.
Dream Style Roofing tops them all. When your roof's worn out and needs to be replaced, we're gonna do it right, put a smile on your face. They're at home, things are looking up when you get your roof done by someone you can trust. Dream Style, a company name that's been around forever. No one does it better. You need a new roof, you know who to call. Dream Style Roofing tops them all.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
All right, so the conference tournament is underway in Vegas. The Mountain West is. Lobos advance on the women's side. They'll play Colorado State. Did you get a look at Colorado State at all? Did you see did you watch UNLV play in Nevada, Air Force? What do you got over there?
Yeah, UNM Colorado State was quite the game. I think it was like 23-20 at halftime.
Wyoming, Colorado State.
Yeah, Wyoming, Colorado State. And then fourth quarter, Colorado State hit some buckets. I think it was like a 10-0 run, 13-0 run that they go on to just blow open the game. Wyoming
51-38 was the number.
Yeah, Wyoming scored 3 points in the fourth quarter.
Wow, it's hard to win that way. Or who's on the other side? So you got UNLV advanced through?
UNLV and Air Force and New Mexico, Colorado State semifinals.
So Air Force, the 5 seed, beat Nevada, and UNLV got by Utah State last night to advance. And so you got those are your semifinals tonight, 5 o'clock there, 6 o'clock here, UNLV and Air Force. And then JJ's due to be on. I guess you'll crack the microphone and hope the first game ends on time. Otherwise, you get a long old pregame show. But you're on the air here at 8 o'clock tonight Mountain Time, correct?
That is correct.
Could make for a late night, early morning tomorrow for us, isn't it? That's how
yes,
it is. Yeah, I know. Well, and then I got stuff to do after the game, JJ. I mean, I got some people.
No doubt.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, you got a post-game show. All right, 505-246-0610. JJ's in Vegas. I will soon be there. I'm here with Stephanie downtown Albuquerque, 505-246-0610. All Mountain West Conference team came out from the media yesterday, so not the official one, right? The official men's All Mountain West team comes out today. Is that correct? Is that the way I understand it? The media team is different than the official team. It was Roddy and Bryce Hamilton. And who was left off? There was somebody left off. Bradley was left off, correct? On the media team?
Yeah. Bradley was second team.
Bradley was second team. Jamal Mashburn and Jalen House were third team for New Mexico, which I think is fair and it's right. Matt Bradley was newcomer of the year from the San Diego State Aztecs, and player of the year was Roddy. Coach of the year, and by the way, Roddy was terrific for Colorado State. I think he's going to be the coach of the year when on the coach's side, or however the official Mountain West one is. And then your coach of the year was Leon Rice. We were talking about, is it Leon Rice or Jeff Linder? We can go either way on that. I thought Jeff Linder did a great job. You okay with the media's picks?
Yeah, I think the one that can have the most talking points is Ike and Bradley, just based on like the last week and a half of the season. I know y'all were able to sway me over towards Matt Bradley and how he finished the year. Other than that, it makes sense. I think Boise State, even though they won the league, I was surprised that even in the media that it was only one Boise State player in Shaver that landed on it.
On the second team.
On the second team, and not even anyone on the third
Kijab
team.
isn't on the second team? Abu Kijab was
No,
on
he
it?
is. Sorry,
Yeah,
I misread that. So 2 boys.
All right, so your first team is Ike and Maldonado, Graham Ike and Hunter Maldonado from Wyoming. Roddy is your player of the year from Colorado State. Orlando Robinson from Fresno State, right? It was first team. And then Bryce Hamilton from UNLV. That was the I'm just doing it by memory. That was your first team. And a lot of people thought Hamilton should be player of the year, but I don't think that's right. And then your second team was Bradley and Abu Kijab and Justin Bean. And who else you got on your second team? I know you're staring at
Marcus Shaver and
That's right.
Isaiah Stephens.
That's right. Everything we said, right? The 10 guys that we said were the obvious ones. I think if you have an issue, you could say that Bradley should be on the first team instead of Graham Ike or Robinson, and that's where it is. And then your third team was Sherfield. You'll see Grant Sherfield from Nevada, Jalen House, Jamal Mashburn were on that team, and good for those two guys, by the way. Now, Jalen House's comment yesterday, JJ, was third team's not what I'm shooting for, but I'll take it, which I like.
Yeah.
I like that. No, I like it a lot. Look, man, I'm looking to be some third teamer. I'm looking to be, but I get it and I like it.
Yeah, they know that next step is the wins to get the recognition, first, second team, player of the year type of stuff.
Yeah, I've got no problem with him coming out and saying that stuff. Western Athletic Conference, home of New Mexico State University, had their first team, and Teddy Allen for New Mexico State was not only the player of the year, JJ, in the WAC, but he was the newcomer of the year as well. I thought about a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago, this was a no-brainer, that Teddy Allen was your guy. And then the losses on the road, Chicago State, and then at home to Utah Valley, you start thinking, okay, where's this going? But Teddy Allen's your guy, right? That was a relatively easy decision, don't you think, for the WAC media?
I do.
Yeah. Second team, Johnny McCants, Jabari Rice. You all right with all that?
Yeah, I think it's the overall performance of Teddy Allen. He struggled really the last 3 of the 4 games to end the year, but he still was so good overall early in WAC play. Had some tremendous games, big time performances would set him apart. Even kind of that late struggle that he had wasn't going to take a lot of votes away from him. And this is why you look at this New Mexico State team, and particularly those two guys, Teddy Allen and Jabari Rice, got to do some damage.
WAC does it weird, man. They have 8 guys on all first team. I'm not sure where that comes from, but they go 8 guys first team, 8 guys second team. The all defensive team was 5, and then the all newcomer team was 5. Do your thing. I mean, BU, I'm not sure why they do that. Defensive player of the year was Fardaz Amok from Utah Valley. Sixth man of the year was from Stephen F. Austin, a guy I know you're all familiar with, Jalen Jackson Posey. Teddy Allen, newcomer of the year. Freshman of the year, Taryn Armstrong from California Baptist. And the coach of the year, and I think this is right. And by the way, the coach of the year in the WAC is named after Don Haskins. It's the Don Haskins coach of the year, was Chris Victor from Seattle. Second team, 2 Aggies, Johnny McCants and Sir Jabari Rice. So we'll talk to Chris Jans coming up at 8:30 this morning about that. And we'll get you scheduled and walk through, get you ready for the Aggies as they get set to play in the WAC tournament. They will go on Friday. And it should be fun. I mean, they advance themselves all the way to the semifinals, and they'll play at 7 o'clock in Vegas, JJ. 7 o'clock, they'll play the early game. So I got some decisions to make on Friday night, too, by the way. All right, 505-246-0610, 888-922-0610. When we come back, I want to get into the NFL stuff. Anything else stand out for you from your first day at the Thomas and Mack from the conference tournament? After a year without really doing this, right? After a year without fans, are you getting a sense, and I know as the week goes on and as the men start tomorrow, the crowds are obviously bigger for the men, but you're getting a sense that, well, this is kind of special to be back here, and we missed something last year?
It is. Even just being at the hotel, there's a ton of Gonzaga fans in.
Oh, yeah,
so
they won last night.
The West Coast Conference feel. I was pleasantly surprised. There is a strong contingent of Lobo fans there at the Monday night session. And it was really good to see. There was some energy in the Thomas and Mack when the Lobos were playing, which it's kind of the question mark. Well, what are you getting on the Monday night as more trickling later in the week? So the atmosphere around town, it's popping. Conference tournaments are back. Seeing all the fans out here, it's a really good vibe right now.
Yeah, it's good. And it'll only get every plane will be full. I'm going to guess there might be a few on the plane this morning headed out to Vegas as well, as it's sold out. All right, 505-246-0610. When we come back, I want to get into some NFL stuff and get your thoughts on Calvin Ridley, the Atlanta Falcons receiver, suspended for a year. He gambled on football. He placed a bet, a $1,500 bet, a parlay bet, on and the Falcons, his team, were part of the bet. He was not playing. Interested in your thoughts on the punishment. Guys, life happens. It happens quickly. Sometimes there are things that happen along the way, natural things, you need help dealing with. NuMale is there to help you. Guys, as you age, things like fatigue, weight gain, even erectile dysfunction are some of those natural things. A really good chance that you're going to be affected. That's where NuMale comes in. They help you deal with these things, take care of them, and you'll feel better, but you've got to make the call. The number is 505-652-1688, 505-652-1688, or go online at NuMale, NuMale.com. All the time, there's excuses. I don't have the time. It's not convenient. Don't make excuses. Make the call. Do this for you. Here's the deal. NuMale's right here in Albuquerque. The process is comfortable, it's convenient, and they're with you every step of the way. But the best part, the most important part of this whole thing, results. The results are real. It works, and men all over the country are benefiting. Do this for you. Call NuMale at 505-652-1688, 505-652-1688, or visit NuMale.com and feel like you again.
For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're number one in New Mexico for a reason. It's the best fence you can own. Proudly serving New Mexico for over 50 years. At Valley Fence, the difference is clear. No fence too big, too small, or difficult. We handle them all at Valley Fence Company.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
A burglary takes place in the United States approximately every 15 seconds. International Protective Service is your answer for commercial and residential security in all of Albuquerque. IPS will work with your monitoring company for fast, reliable response times. You can rest easy knowing you, your family, or your company is watched over by International Protective Service. Call International Protective Service today.
The energy landscape is limitless and ever-changing. Cleaner energy resources are crucial to New Mexico's environment. For 100 years, PNM has utilized cutting-edge technology and employed hard-working New Mexicans to ensure that we have consistent, reliable energy when we need it. For life's loudest moments, quietest moments, and every moment in between. We're dedicated to providing you with energy now and into the future, All you have to do is dream of what to do with it next.
Dream Style Roofing tops them all. When your roof's worn out and needs to be replaced, we're gonna do it right, put a smile on your face. They're at home, things are looking up when you get your roof done by someone you can trust. Dream Style, a company name that's been around forever. No one does it better. You need a new roof, you know who to call. Dream Style Roofing tops them all.
For this year. He was one of your keepers. He's not going to do you much good. He's not going to do the Falcons much good either. Calvin Ridley, the very talented wide receiver for the Atlanta Falcons, was suspended by the NFL yesterday for the entirety of the upcoming 2022 NFL season. Good morning to you. Opening drive, Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck. Suspended because he placed bets on NFL games, bets on his team. Calvin Ridley was away from the team to get his personal life in order, kind of one of these, a little mental health break that people take now, which is fine. He needed to get his life in order. He placed a bet, and you can't do that. It is in every locker room. It's been negotiated in the CBA. This is an interesting one because they say he had no inside information. Well, he's on the team. He was away from the team, Jeff. Well, but he's on the team. I don't know where you're going to come out on this, JJ. And while I do think this is a very harsh penalty, and I think this is a little bit of a gray area, but it's not. I'm reading so much stuff where I'm seeing Calvin Ridley being painted as the victim here, when the reality is it's in every single locker room. It's posted. It's everybody knows. You do not bet on the NFL when you're in the NFL. You do not bet on your team. I mean, look, Pete Rose was banned for life from baseball for this. He's not in the Hall of Fame. I mean, we spent months of time talking about it on this show, and on every other show, and at every bar in America. I think this is a little bit extreme, but I think that's the penalty, and it's got to be a little extreme. He went out and absolutely violated. And here's the other thing that is not this conversation, but we can have it if it's another one. Well, this guy did that, and what should the owner get? All of that's valid, but has nothing to do with what Calvin Ridley did. Well, Calvin Ridley is a standalone offense. He violated the policy. Now, I don't know that there was precedent. I don't know that it was ever said that it will be a full season. I feel bad for him. I feel like it's a minor infraction, but he's not the victim here.
It's the one thing in sports that hasn't changed. Show me the league, name me the league, we'll talk about it. Players, managers, people in the game can't bet on that particular sport. It's nothing new. It's always been there, and it's something that unless you address it, you know it's going to be one of the harshest things that is done. And you can't go out there and tell me, but look at the partnerships, but look at this. Absolutely. There's partnerships. There's daily fantasy football. There's gambling. These leagues are making money off that. But the one thing that hasn't changed is the ability for players to bet on said game that they're in. If you want to have that conversation as a players union and you go to the NFL and go, hey, look at all these partnerships, there should just be something we look at and lessen the penalty and or make it go away. But there is an integrity of the game piece that should still matter to everyone regardless, and that is whether or not you're on a mental health break or you're playing the game, you don't bet on the sport that you're in.
So it's a really interesting conversation that, well, look at all the money they're taking from DraftKings and this bet.com and that bet.com, and you're right. And some of that money is being passed down to the players in the form of these salaries. That's part of where the money, the revenue to pay these salaries is coming. It's not all of it, it's part of it. The NFL is making millions on betting. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. And so are the players, right? That goes towards these handsome salaries that they're getting. So does Coca-Cola or Pepsi-Cola or whatever your sponsors are. That's how the game works. It's business. JJ, it is simple. And look, I think this is harsh. I think this is kind of an outlier of a circumstance. This is one where, gosh, it wasn't habitual. It doesn't seem. He bet on his team. Now, look, I think dudes do it all the time. I think they get their guy to go do it. I think they all know, hey, Jay, you know how your guy Chris Carter said have a fall guy? You know, Chris Carter's fall guy probably, hey, here's $1,500. Here's my bet. Go place it for me, right? Calvin Ridley did it by himself. Steph, who's on one? Yeah. All right. I got it backwards. All right. So I want to be clear on this. Let's see what you think. Bill, good morning to you. How are you?
How's it going today?
Good. How you doing?
Not too bad. It's a no-no. Don't bet in your sport. I mean, look at Pete Rose. Yeah. You know, he's suffered quite a few years for that. You know, but I don't understand the part about inside information. What exactly inside information? You know, everybody's healthy on the team.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Well, they said he did.
That part I don't understand, but it's a no-no to do what he did.
Yeah,
Bill, I mean,
inside
for him to get the whole season, I can understand because Pete Rose has been shut out forever. Yeah. So.
Inside information would be, you know, the quarterback's got a bad shoulder, or the left tackle's not going to play, but they said, you know, they said, well, in our investigation shows he doesn't have any. Well, he's part of that damn team. What do you mean he didn't have any?
Well, I mean, the public would know. I mean, well, I guess I don't know. I mean, the team may withhold something from the public or something. Yeah, I understand that there.
All right, thank you, Bill. Yeah, I just JJ, that's the point. I think we're gonna hear, well, this guy did that, and what about the owner of the Dolphins, and they're taking millions. Bottom line is, you know the rule. Like it really, to me, is that simple. And I'm hearing everybody else say, well, it's not that big of a deal, and they're taking money, and it kind of is until they change the CBA, the collective bargaining agreement. Hello, Adolph.
Morning, fellas. Weren't we having an offshoot of this kind of conversation roughly about 2 weeks ago?
In regards to?
Yeah, in regards to Pete Rose and gambling.
Yeah.
And I remember stating that every profession has a rule that if you violate it, the harshest penalty will come down. Now, the moment that I heard this about Ridley, I thought back to 1963. This is nothing that has happened. This is something that has happened before. I don't know if you guys knew this, but Alex Karras, who was the defensive tackle for the Detroit Lions,
just looking at that,
and Paul Hornung, the great running back for the Green Bay Packers and the Heisman Trophy winner, they were suspended by Pete Rozelle for 1 year for gambling.
In 1963. Yeah, I'm just literally was just looking at that. Yeah.
So, and I remember when that happened.
Well,
okay, there was no big. How do you do about this? No, this was normal.
All right, so I'm with you, but the difference is, and I'll entertain the other side on this. The difference between now and 1963 is the league's not taking millions of dollars from gambling companies. They're not promoting gambling. They're not running gambling lines on the bottom of every screen back then. They are not. Some stadiums are now opening casinos in stadiums. So, I mean, we'll admit the atmosphere is a little different. But your point is that the precedent was set somehow back then. Now, should it change? Should it alter? Should it be? I relaxed a bit. I don't know, but it's not. That's the point. It's not. The rule's in place.
Yes, the rule is there, and it hasn't changed. And I didn't get the feeling that Ridley even understood the gravamen of his offense.
Gravamen.
He was saying that he didn't have a gambling problem. He tweeted that out.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, it's not about your having a gambling problem.
Right.
It's that you violated this cardinal rule.
That's right.
It doesn't matter that it was only $1,500.
That's right.
It doesn't. That's not an issue. The issue is he violated that rule.
Adolph.
And so therefore, the penalty is just.
What was the big conversation? Well, Pete Rose only bet on his team to win, and the counter to that was, well, what about on the days he didn't bet on his team? Was he kind of betting against him to lose?
And I brought that up to the listeners. It's not necessary that he bet on his team to win. When he even refrains from betting, that too sends a message to professional gamblers. That is an edge. That is all you need as a professional gambler is an edge. So this is not rocket science here.
I agree with you. Look, it may be extreme, it may be harsh, and you might feel for the young man a little bit, but the rule is the rule. I'm losing, and there was so much social media, JJ, on basically almost making Calvin Ridley out to be the victim here, and I was really struggling with that perspective. So Adolph.
He's not the victim here.
No,
No. He's the offender here.
That's right. All right,
so
man.
Anyway,
yeah.
I'm out, fellas.
Appreciate you. All right. You agree with that?
Yeah, if you want to use Calvin Ridley to start advancing the conversations going, should this be addressed with the partnerships that all these leagues have with gambling, what should players be allowed to do? To me, it doesn't seem all that crazy that you just can't bet on the sport that you're in, the sport that you play, because it doesn't matter if you are there or not. It brings up a huge what-if question. What if you texted your buddy, and now the NFL said that there were not any communications between Calvin Ridley and the team while he was away when this occurred, but you're joking. You're like, hey, man, I need you to get 5 catches today. LOL. Like, you just can't have stuff happen like that. And it is pretty simple. Like, we all get that. And despite the leagues making a ton of money off it, well, guess what? Go place bets on an NBA game. Go play some bets on something else. Do not drop parlay bets on the NFL.
Let me ask you this, because I don't know the answer, to be honest with you. Are NFL players permitted, and should they be, to play fantasy football?
Because they openly talk about that. Athletes do.
They do, right? They talk about their fantasy football team, isn't that? I mean, if you and I put a couple shekels on our fantasy football league, if we pay $1 or $1,000 to get into a fantasy football league, I mean, is that considered gambling? Is that permitted? I mean, Austin Eckler talks about all the time. I'm on my own fantasy football team, man. Right? I mean, can they play fantasy? Is that a gray area?
The obvious answer is yes, because the NFL hasn't pushed back on that.
It's interesting, though, right? I mean, if there's a shekel or two on that would be considered gambling, would it not? Just asking.
It would.
I want your thoughts on this, because I think this is going to be, and while the first 2 calls have certainly been of the same perspective, I think this is going to be a touch polarizing as we move forward on this. Did Calvin Ridley get overpunished? I got Edwards' correspondence, and he already. Oh, well, what about the Dolphins owner? All that is fair conversation, but it's separate. It's separate. It's not apples to apples. We can have that conversation if you want. 505-246-0610. Who watches your home? Who's watching your home every day? Good guys or bad guys? It's really that simple. The good guys watch my home. They keep the bad guys away. Bad guys are out there. Crime is on the increase in this town. The good guys are IPS, International Protective Service. Aaron Jones owns IPS. He started providing security for some homeowners in Fort Hills back about 16 years ago. Now here he is with homeowners and business owners all over Albuquerque, trusting IPS to protect what they've worked so hard to build. Aaron's from Albuquerque. Aaron's passionate about Albuquerque, passionate about making this place a better, a safer place to live and work by watching your home business with highly trained armed guards or 24-hour patrols. That's what they do. You go out of town, you let them know. Say, I'm leaving this date, coming back this date. Garbage day in there? Yep. Can you roll the garbage cans out? Sure. They patrol the place. They come by. They make sure everything's okay. I told you the story about when my brother was at the house and I was at the hotel during Bowl Week. He left the garage door open all night. 2:30, 3:30, whatever the time it was in the morning. And I didn't even see it. But I woke up in the morning. Damn, how did I miss all these calls? He called the house phone, and they stayed out in front of my house until somebody came down and closed the damn garage door and protected my golf club stuff. Made sure my clubs did not get lifted out of the garage. That's what they do. They're that good. Call IPS. Protect what's important to you. 505-897-2420. It's area code 505-897-2420, or visit them online at ipsglobal.com.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch Mexico's best. Properties is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're number one in New Mexico for a reason. It's the best fence you can own. Proudly serving New Mexico for over 50 years. At Valley Fence, the difference is clear. No fence too big, too small, or difficult. We handle them all at Valley Fence Company.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number 1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
The energy landscape is limitless and ever-changing. Cleaner energy resources are crucial to New Mexico's environment. For 100 years, PNM has utilized cutting-edge technology and employed hard-working New Mexicans to ensure that we have consistent, reliable energy when we need it. For life's loudest moments, quietest moments, and every moment in between. We're dedicated to providing you with energy now and into the future. All you have to do is dream of what to do with it next.
I'm Ben Lucero, president and owner of Indigo Mortgage. We are a locally owned and operated mortgage company right here in New Mexico. This means your loan officers and processors are right here to serve you. Our mortgage divisions include residential, commercial, construction, reverse mortgages, and VA mortgage loan. Indigo Mortgage, because nobody cares more about your mortgage loan.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Stephanie's producing for us today. Going to your phone calls. Calvin Ridley, Atlanta Falcons, suspended for a year. He bet on football. He was on a personal break during the season, away from the team. Placed a parlay bet, $1,500. I wonder if he won the bet. And the Falcons were part of it to win. League said he had no inside information, hadn't been in contact with the team. He can't bet on football. Tony, good morning to you. How you living?
You know, I'm going to be the first one to say it. You guys can bet on football. The only thing you guys can't do is bet on other broadcasters. You know, you can't be placing bets on how many times Rome is going to mess up or Skip Bayless is going to say something ridiculous. That right there, that's frowned upon. You
I would never do that. I could never do that, Tony. I mean, that would be morally, ethically, and flat out wrong.
That's just wrong. That's, you know, that's a big no-no, okay? A big no-no.
Yeah.
But, you know, look at it like this.
All right.
How many games does a guy get suspended for domestic violence when he has an
Yeah,
incident
no,
here and there?
I saw that, right? So Ray Rice got what? I mean, you guys got you're going to show me this guy got 2 games, that guy got 4 games, that guy got 6 games, and what's worse?
You know,
You're not
and-
wrong, and you're not wrong.
It's just it's ridiculous because this Jason Williams, the old point guard for Duke, go Blue Devils.
Yep.
He had a perfect example of it because if this gets you a year and domestic violence gets you 6 games, 7 games, that goes to show you that the NFL cares more about the almighty dollar than their players.
Well,
yes or no?
I think that's a little too black and white. So first of all, I think the punishment for domestic violence is too soft, okay? That's my opinion. I think if you beat the hell out of your woman and you're getting 2 or 4 games, I think that's soft, okay? Secondly...
Well, you see it like that, and I see it like that,
Yeah.
but the NFL doesn't.
Okay, yeah, no, I agree. But this...
sees that as a 6-game suspension.
All right, now, what about the integrity of the game? While Calvin Ridley did not, by their account, influence the game, if you let guys start betting on games, well, this guy only gets a few games, and now we got... If you let guys start betting on games, are we not worried about the integrity of the game? I dropped the ball because I didn't want to cover the spread because we can't have guys who are on the field potentially influencing outcomes of the game because they may have some action on it. We can't. You can't get there.
Very true. Very true. I'm just glad I'm not the one sitting there having to make up the punishment because you're going to please some people, you're going to piss off some other people, and it's a no-win situation.
I agree with you. I think they're while we're comparing the punishment because it's the same league making the punishment, I think they're 2 different conversations, but they merge because you have the same body enforcing the penalty.
See, and now Pete Rose got the whole lifetime ban and everything. That's completely different. Pete Rose was betting on baseball while he was playing, while he was player manager. And see, people need to stop bringing up Pete Rose in this because that right there is 2 completely different situations.
Yeah, but Tony, I think
I don't care how anybody tries to twist it, word it, whatever. Those are just 2 completely different situations. Do I think a year? I mean, are they trying to send a message? Absolutely. No. This guy's the poster child for NFL players gambling. But, again, I'm just glad I don't have to make those decisions.
That's a great call. I appreciate it, my friend. Thank you.
You guys have a good day, okay?
Later. So here's the deal. And his argument is not completely flawed. If you're going to tell me a guy beats the hell out of his girlfriend, his wife, domestic violence, and he gets 6 games, and this guy's getting a year, which is 17 games plus. What do you tell me? What's more egregious of a penalty? An offense. What's a worse offense? Beating the hell out of your woman or putting $1,500 on a parlay? Well, it's easy, right? I mean, domestic violence is a worse, more disgusting offense. Well, that's not what the NFL says, Jeff. Okay, I get it on the surface, and you're right. And I would tell you that I believe that the penalty for domestic violence is too soft, but that's where they are. What the NFL is saying is we have got to protect the integrity of the game. If we don't have the integrity of the game, we don't have a game. And if you allow a little here, well, Calvin Ridley only bet on a $1,500 parlay when he was with the team here, so we'll only give him a few games here, and then this guy only gets a few. Now you've just inched that door open. Where this way you slammed it shut. Don't bet on football. Just don't. Because I think we can all agree you can't have dudes betting on games in which they play, right? I mean, can we all agree on that? If there's going to be integrity, do you want – let me ask you this. Let's say the Falcons were playing the Saints that day, okay? And you took the Falcons and you got 4.5 points. And somehow Calvin Ridley – or you took the Saints. I'm sorry, you took the Saints. And Calvin Ridley had the Falcons, and he bet his team, and somehow you found out that he influenced the game because he had a bet on it. How you feeling about that? How you feeling about making your next bet on football? You can't have someone in the arena, meaning a player, a coach, somebody who is associated with any team. You can't. Well, Jeff, Calvin Ridley was not with the team that day, that week. He had no contact with them. He was on a break, so he bet. Okay. And look, I'm telling you, I agree with you that this is borderline gray area, that this is not egregious, like crazy offense, not a guy that went out and bet on his team every week. But you can't have it. You've got, if you're the league, I understand why they're cutting this thing off at the head. Now, if you want to tell me a guy that beats his wife only gets 6 games, and that's ridiculous, you're right. You're right. And to me, the only reason those two things are in the same sentence is because it is the same body, the NFL, who is handing down the punishment, hence those two merge. But you've got to protect the integrity of the game. Guys, you can't have someone associated with the team betting on that team. You can't. Why not, Jeff? They're taking all the money. Really? You can't see that? 505-246-0610. I'll listen to you. I'm kind of curious where you are on this. So you feel more like Tony does? Well, if they're only going to give 6 games for beating the hell out of your woman, then you should only get 4 games for this. I'm listening to it. JJ's in Vegas. Lady Lobos have advanced to the semifinals of the Mountain West Tournament. Chris Jans, New Mexico State's coach, is going to be with us at 8:30. It's the opening drive. Jeff, JJ, Stephanie, Adrian on 95.9 FM and AM 610 Sports Animal and ProView Networks.
Jackson Compaction wants to help you keep your green. And keep the community green as well. Jackson Compaction has worked hard to maintain the same prices since day one. Always easy and painless trash removal with professional crews and quality service. If it's non-hazardous waste, debris, or trash on your land, leave it to us. At Jackson Compaction, we're dedicated to ensuring the conservation of our environment. You trash it, we smash it. Jackson Compaction, we've earned a reputation for great results.
You trusted your home or business security to a company with an armed response. They sold out to a national corporate giant, and you're stuck on the brink of less security. I'm Aaron Jones, owner of International Protective Service. IPS isn't for sale. I'm invested here, and I care about your home and business as if it's my own. Let the highly trained armed guards or 24-hour patrols of IPS protect what's yours. With faster response times to catch criminals and less associated costs. Call 897-2420 or go to ipsglobal.com.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number 1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth that's real tough, backed by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
Your surprisingly great rates? Contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs.
For 5 years running. This is the opening drive with three-time New Mexico Sportscaster of the Year, Jeff Symbieta, and JJ Buck.
Hoops, scoops, and alley-oops. What an ending. In the SoCon, the Southern Conference Championship yesterday, Chattanooga beat Furman on a half-court buzzer beater to advance to the NCAA tournament. Like the ultimate in the madness last night. Young man launches one from half-court. Chattanooga goes dancing. Furman, the Paladins. That's a great name. It was a great band back in the day, Steph. The Paladins, a rockabilly band in San Diego. Oh, we'll find some Paladins and jam that for you because you like old rockabilly, stand-up bass, three dudes,
Yeah,
boom, boom, just terrific. Look up the Paladins, you'll love them. But the Furman Paladins got beat. Chattanooga on a half-court buzzer beater. They go to the NCAA tournament. In Vegas last night, where J.J. Buck and Nikki Heckroth-Lobato have the call, Lobo women were winners, 63-60 over San Diego State. New Mexico advances to the semifinals tonight. They will play Colorado State here on the Sports Animal. JJ and Nikki crack the mic. Albertson's Radio Row from the Thomas and Mack Center at 8 o'clock on the Sports Animal. Chris Jans, New Mexico State's men's basketball coach, due to be with us at 8:30 this morning. And so we got a ton of hoops for you. The Calvin Ridley conversation is really interesting. JJ, Tony was just talking about how, the guys get 6 games for domestic violence. And I'm like, that's great. And I think that's soft. And it does send a mixed message at some, and I think the only reason we're having these, combining these two is because the same body is litigating both of these and punishing both of these, and that's how the conversations merge. But in reality, you can't. This is an integrity of the game issue. You just can't leave the door cracked for somebody in the building, a coach, a trainer, a player, they can't bet on. You can't bet on football. It's really that simple. You can't bet on the game in which you're employed.
Absolutely, it's one that it's a harsh penalty. The other stuff they were way too light on for a long time when it regards to domestic violence and other issues off the field. But in this case, if it's never addressed, if the players' union has never said, "Hey, let's look at this." They've accepted that this is going to be one of the harshest penalties. There's nothing to complain about. There's nothing to cry about right now. There's no victim. You want to go bet on football, you got to live with the consequences right now. Until those are changed, that's the way it is. And then you can't tell me, hey, but this, but that, then go change it. Yeah, these leagues are in partnerships with betting and fantasy football.
They are.
For the fans. If you want your players to participate in that, you want to open up that can of worms, then go talk to the league about it.
Text line says, integrity of the game. Does anyone remember a guy named Pete Rose? This guy, Calvin Ridley, should be done. Or if there's something deeper that should happen. Stigler said he should get 3 years, JJ, as I was walking the halls. Texter also says, Tony is wrong. Gambling is gambling. What are the guys off an injury? He's involved with the NFL, just as Pete Rose was with Major League Baseball. Tony's flat out wrong. Tony says it's got nothing to do with Pete Rose. It kind of a little bit is, it's not exact. Pete Rose was betting on games at which he was managing. It was... I'm not sure I think he should get a lifetime ban for this. But I think it's got to be something that's significant. Are they making an example out of Calvin Ridley? Hell yes, they are. What they're saying is don't freaking do it. All those signs that are posted in your locker room that say don't gamble, that's not just like a little don't walk sign and you can jaywalk against it and you're going to get slapped on the wrist. That's don't freaking gamble or you're going to get penalized. And in this case, what's Calvin Ridley make, $10, $12 million a year? Like, it's costing him a lot of bleeping money. Yeah, they're making an example out of him. Hello, Lenny.
Morning. So they're making an example out of him, but the NFL has no problem when those checks come in from DraftKings and every other betting company that's doing sponsorship with the league.
Well, and the players have no problem cashing those big checks that some of that money goes to pay. What's the point?
The point is, when Pete Rose did it, gambling was basically taboo all the way around. The owners didn't even want to discuss having it even as a sponsor.
Understood.
Now, you have ESPN talking about in-game betting.
Oh, you're right.
As the game's taking place.
No, you're right.
Who's one of your TV people.
So
Calvin Ridley,
so it should be okay for players to bet?
The problem I have with Ridley's bet is he didn't bet directly on Atlanta. He did a parlay.
Mm-hmm.
I know a parlay, a bet's a bet. Now, if he did all of his bets on Atlanta, and he was playing in the game, or even if he was hurting out, that's one thing.
Yeah.
He did a parlay.
I know.
So I have a feeling this in-season suspension is going to get overturned. There are about 4 to 6 games.
Well, we'll see. Look, I agree with you that it's on the really low side of the offense. I also know that it's in every locker room that it's been told.
No, it is every. I agree.
Because the
problem is when your sponsors are the same companies, you're telling them you can't bet.
Yes. Yeah. 100%. Yes. Yes. Why is it? So you want guys? Hold on. You want guys that are playing in the games to be able to bet on games?
No, but I don't think the guy should lose a whole season for honestly coming and owning up to it right away where they didn't have to chase him down.
Well, that's why he didn't get 3. So what should be the penalty?
I would put him on a 6-game suspension with the thing that if it's ever done again, it's a minimum 2-year suspension, which is basically lifetime, and then you have to reapply. But they're basically saying to him now it's a 1-year suspension, and then you have to reapply with no guarantee we're going to let you come back in. But, and while you're doing that, we're going to make probably $2 billion in sponsorship money off the company you can't bet with.
Where does that money go?
That's where I have the problem. If the NFL didn't have those sponsors, then yes, I totally agree with the suspension.
I understand the dynamic on the betting, and they've got all these sponsors. I get that, and that's also gone to that and Pepsi-Cola and every bank and Prudential and Progressive. All these sponsorships go to increase the player pool, right? They have no problem cashing the big checks. Why is he making $12 million a year? Because they've got these big sponsors. Like, this thing goes all around, and I agree with you that it's relaxed. With the world, you, me, everybody, the networks are relaxed on betting. That still cannot mean players, people who are in the game, can bet on the games.
No, and I agree. I'm not saying they should bet, but should it be a whole season and they're going to make him an example, or give him a 6-game suspension and still get the point across, and then let him come and play?
All right. I appreciate you. Fair enough.
I mean, if he was betting 150,000, 250,000, $1 million, yeah, that's a big problem. Or was it Tim Donaghy, the NBA ref?
Yeah. No, I get it. This is not to that level.
Okay, so there should be different levels with it. It's just like NBA has different suspension. All the sports have different levels of suspension based on the severity of the issue. So you're going to tell me that you do $1,500, but the other guy does $1.5 million, and you both get a year suspension.
Well, we don't know that yet because we haven't got to that. We haven't got somebody at that level yet. We don't know. Maybe that'll be more.
And they're making him an example and saying this is it. This is the end of it. Well, if it's the end of it, then take all the money you're getting from those sponsors and send it back too.
Why?
And see what the owners say about that.
Why, though?
Because you're saying it's okay for us to take money from the gambling company.
Yes.
You just can't gamble with them.
It's okay to take money from the beer company.
Is that crazy?
You just can't drink during the games. I just...
I understand, but do you think it's a fair suspension for 1 year for what he did?
I do. Yes.
Okay, I understand. I don't.
That's fair. I mean, I respect you.
I think 6 games, and to me, a sexual offense against a female
a whole nother
is much more egregious.
I agree with that too.
Than betting on the game. I
agree with that too. I 100% agree with that too, and I think domestic violence
and
penalties
I would
are too
rather
soft.
see that person get suspended for the year or longer, and then he has to reapply, and maybe they take him back, and maybe they don't. But what happens with those players? They get a 6-game suspension, they get a 4-game suspension, and the union fights vehemently for that.
Can't agree with you more. I can't agree with you more on that. You and I we're lock stock on that. And JJ's with us.
And the other problem I have with Calvin Ridley, and please, I'm not condoning it, this is a gentleman who had mental health issues last year and shut himself down. Now you're putting him out of football for a year again with no help from the team at all because he can't access any of the team facilities.
That's a problem
for that year.
I agree with that. You got some
so
really
how
good
are
points.
you helping this young man?
Not sure. That's the goal, is to help that young man. But
how? You're not letting him have access to team doctors, team facilities, nothing. You're on your own for the year. You can't even legally talk
he has people
to
to help him.
Yeah, and there should be people. All right, Lenny, I got to move, but I appreciate it, and thanks. It's a good call. Look, he's got some points in there.
Calvin Ridley has an agent that if he cared about him, he can help him through this. And obviously Ridley was cool enough to be watching football and betting on football. And wasn't totally axed from everything in his mental health break. So I'm not going to cry a river over Calvin Ridley. And here's the thing. The NFL Players Association really hasn't had to fight against gambling penalties. So they haven't battled for lesser suspensions in this. If they came back and said, you know what, this is going to be 8 games, I'd be okay with that. But don't scream, don't start yelling at the NFL and the Players Association and play the but this.
He's the victim.
It's because they fight for those other penalties. It's the Players Association, it's the NFL that have agreed that the worst things you do in life to other people aren't that big of a deal. They haven't had this conversation yet. Until they have that conversation to where the penalty of gambling needs to be this amount or that amount, you can't sit here and come and say, well, they're taking this lightly. No, everyone is taking this lightly. The players, the NFL, they can negotiate suspensions down in those other cases because it happens far too many times to where they have to talk about that all the time.
Your point is really lost, and it's so good that the Players Union, the Players Association, they're the ones who have fought to lower the penalties on domestic violence. Not the NFL. The Players Association is the one. Mo said the Black Sox scandal was 103 years ago. You might be old, Jeff. Guy doesn't get it. He was talking about Lenny, the last caller. He says it's not about morality or legality of betting. It's the integrity of the game. He should get a lifetime suspension. We're all over the board on this, man. Lenny thinks because you're taking money from these betting companies and it should be fine. Or at least not as bad. I think he agreed that they shouldn't be betting on games. You can't have people associated with the game betting on games. Now, what should the penalty be? Maybe now they'll sit down and have these conversations and they'll tier it, right? Well, if you just bet on a parlay at $1,500 when you're not with the team for 5 days, that'll be 6 games. But and now we got to tier it, and then something's going to come up that you're going, oh, where does this fit, right? Because we didn't see this coming. But I just, for the life of me, these are the rules, man. The rules were there. Now, like Bob Clark said, was that what the penalty was supposed to be? I don't know that it was ever written. I think the league's now saying this is how we're interpreting it, and this is the penalty we're given, and this is how it's going to stand. This will be the precedent going forward. Don't freaking bet on football, period. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610 The Sports Animal.
No one should read your personal messages.
A burglary takes place in the United States approximately every 15 seconds. International Protective Service is your answer for commercial and residential security in all of Albuquerque. IPS will work with your monitoring company for fast, reliable response times. You can rest easy knowing you, your family, or your company is watched over by International Protective Service. Call International Protective Service today.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
The energy landscape is limitless and ever-changing. Cleaner energy resources are crucial to New Mexico's environment. For 100 years, PNM has utilized cutting-edge technology and employed hard-working New Mexicans to ensure that we have consistent, reliable energy when we need it. For life's loudest moments, quietest moments, and every moment in between. We're dedicated to providing you with energy now and into the future. All you have to do is dream of what to do with it next.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot. It's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
Looking forward to talking to Chris Jans coming up here in about 14 minutes. New Mexico State's head coach will be with us. It's a lot of noise coming out of JJ's headset as he puts it back on. What's up, dude? How you living in Vegas?
Sorry.
You good? No.
I'm all right. How do you? A lot of business people up early in the morning. Very business-like. Business.
Were you downstairs at the big hotel there getting?
Only place to get some coffee.
They don't have it in the hotel.
No in-room coffee makers here. Yeah, it's too fancy of a place to have in-room coffee makers.
I'm going to say at a different establishment. Hopefully, my place isn't nearly as fancy as yours. That's what I'm hoping. All right, let's do this.
Fancy.
Is this the Mr. Traub, the guy that was on with us yesterday? John Traub, the general manager of the Albuquerque Isotopes?
Apparently it is.
Hello, Mr. Traub. How are you, sir?
I'm good. How are you guys?
What was the guy's name? The character that called you Mr. Todd for my old radio station. Archibald Cummings. Archibald Cummings. You Mr. Todd? Can that be the pronunciator? Yeah, that guy was funny. What's up?
It's good times.
Yes. What do you got?
I don't know. I was told to call you guys. I think it's about the sweet deals. Are you guys unveiling those today?
Oh, look at that. We got a sweet deal today.
Look at that.
You just thought he was a fan of the show, Jeff. He's like, I got an opinion on this.
What you think I got other things to do today?
I thought you were calling about Calvin Ridley getting suspended for a year from the NFL for betting on football. I don't know.
Yeah, how about that?
Yeah, that is a good deal.
Can we go back to talking about college basketball coaches?
Sure. Where's Ben Howland on the list?
He's not.
Nick Cronin? Steve Lavin?
He's not. Cronin, who knows? 30 years
Steve
from now,
Alford?
maybe he has a chance.
Steve Alford. All right, so we got a sweet deal that goes on sale today. It goes online. Actually, I need to get in on this. I usually do, and then I miss out. It is baseball bucks at Albuquerque Isotopes games. It's not 25. It's like increments. What are the increments of? Like
$2 increments.
So at $26, right? Is that right? Is it in a pack?
26 coupons, yeah, for
50
or 28 coupons for $56.
All right, and we're selling those for half price. On our website, sportsanimалabq.com, you click on the sweet deal icon right at 9 o'clock. These go quickly, and they're good for everything at the ballpark, right, during Isotopes games?
Yeah, they are. You can use them for food. You can use them for tickets. You can use them for merchandise. Kids can use them up in the fun zone. So yeah, there's really a convenient way to.
It's money.
And if you have guests, that are coming, or you give your tickets to somebody, or you want to treat somebody, giving them a pack of baseball bucks is a great way to go.
All right, so they come in $2 increments. You can use them for food, beer, tickets, fun zones, whatever you want. In a cashless facility, this is really the only transactions of cash money, the kind of type things that we're using here, huh?
Yes, and eventually that that could be changing in terms of like making it even more convenient for people. But we need to upgrade a few other things and get a few other I's dotted, T's crossed, that kind of thing. But right now, baseball bucks are certainly the way to go.
All right, baseball bucks are a big deal. I tend to try to do them every year, and then I lose at 9 o'clock. They're like gone because they take 3 minutes. So I think there's 100 of these packs that are going to be on sale. Go to our website, sportsanimalabq.com. Baseball bucks, you can use them for, and they're nice. Look, you're going to spend some money now. You get half of it. It's like free money anyway. And then you can go out to the ballpark and go, I got dinner tonight in my pocket, and go out and get some of the delicacies and something to drink and enjoy Isotopes baseball. So it's good, and we're starting at home on April 12th.
You got it.
Look at me with the right date. All right, Mr. Traub, enjoy
You're
the day.
all over it. Thanks, Jeff.
Appreciate you. Be well.
We'll talk to you. Be safe.
All right. Do you remember the Archibald Cummings character from when we worked in the closet back in the day?
No.
He was terrific.
And I'm okay with that.
Yeah, no, it was one of the characters. All right, text line says problem with the new view, critical players known to bet on their NFL games lessen the integrity of their game. It's said players likely still bet on such games through another's name. I think that's right. I think they got their guy betting on games, and if you get caught, you get caught. I just look. There's a rule, man. I know we tend to think rules don't apply to us, and if it's a stupid rule, then we don't have to do it. And jaywalking is a dumb rule, or stopping at a stop sign, whatever. They're rules. They apply to you. They apply to you even if you're on a 5-day leave from your team. You can't bet on football. It's really that simple. And what the NFL is doing here is cracking down and saying, hey, you're not going to do it. And we're going to make sure nobody else does it by making a really harsh penalty. Now, does the CBA, does the Players Association go back and do they have a conversation about this, about what penalties should be? Probably. You haven't had this problem yet. Is domestic violence worse? I believe so. But is it worth? Let me ask you this. I think we all would sit here and say, what's a worse offense? Beating your woman or betting on a game? Well, it's easy, right? What is more dangerous to the game of football? To the future of the game.
You're right on this. Like, we can all agree what is worse, but something can still have a bad effect on the game, like gambling.
And so football is there. They got to protect their game. If you're going to tell me what's worse to the shield, what's more dangerous to the shield?
It's integrity, because obviously we've seen it play out. People did not care about domestic violence until it was on video.
But you will
you can sit there and say how bad it is, and you don't like it. But when players did it, it was a blip on the radar, suspended 2-4 games, and then you're on to the next game.
But you will care if it's proven that the owner of the Dolphins tried to throw games. You will care if you bet on the Saints and Calvin Ridley bet on the Falcons and Calvin Ridley swung the spread that day and you found out that you lost your bet that way. You will care if you find out the players are betting on games and somehow bumping the spread above the number, scoring that late touchdown when they should take a knee, right, typically. Why'd they go for that, huh? That's really weird, Jeff. Normally you would take a knee with 12 seconds to go and up by 4. Yeah, but they didn't cover the spread, so they had to hit the deep one. Really? You will care then. I don't know that you care that ex-dude beat his wife or girlfriend. Tyreek Hill's really, really fast. Remember he had 2 domestic assault allegations? Yeah, but gosh, he's such a good receiver. I drafted him first on my fantasy team, Steph, and he helped me. You don't care, do you? Do you care that Kareem Hunt, who's probably on your fantasy team too, was on video kicking that woman when she was down outside that elevator? Remember that? Knocked her out and kicked her? Remember? Do you care? Alvin Kamara, Pro Bowl. Probably going to see that video soon, right? We saw the dude's face. But if he plays next year, he's really good, Jeff. He's the Saints' #1 running back, and I need a running back. I'm going to. You don't care. But you're going to care if he influences your bet and costs you money. So I agree with you. If you're going to tell me domestic violence penalties are too soft, and JJ, I think you're on the same page. To me, these are 2 separate conversations.
That they are.
When we come back, Chris Jan's going to be with us. We're going to talk to Aggies men's basketball coach about the upcoming WAC tournament. Teddy Allen, Player of the Year in the WAC. And Aggies will open up in the semifinal on Wednesday. I want to tell you first about Dr. Stephen Coleman and Coleman Vision. I got my LASIK done at Coleman Vision, gosh, coming up on 18, 19 years ago now. And it's one of the best things I ever did. If you are thinking about ditching the lenses, you're tired of putting in contacts or wearing your glasses, go see Dr. Coleman and see if you are a candidate for LASIK. I had a high degree of astigmatism. That's why I went to see him. He specializes in that. The technology that they use over at Coleman Vision is cutting edge. Dr. Coleman plays a significant role in developing and testing the current technology. It's used not only in New Mexico, but around the world. It originated at Sandia Labs here in New Mexico. For years, patients have come from all over the country to have their LASIK done at Coleman Vision. They know of Dr. Coleman's reputation, the fact that he's been in private practice, specializing in LASIK his entire career. You'll walk in there on any given day, you will be comfortable, and you will see people ranging from doctors to lawyers to college kids to housewives to firefighters to nurses to athletes. You will feel comfortable, and you will love the results. This is one of the best things I ever did. If you're thinking about LASIK, there's one place, and it's Coleman Vision. Call them. Go online, take a look and see what they do and make an appointment. The number is 505-821-8880. 505-821-8880. Or see them online at colemanvision.com. Seeing is believing, and I believe.
High-interest credit cards.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
The energy landscape is limitless and ever-changing. Cleaner energy resources are crucial to New Mexico's environment. For 100 years, PNM has utilized cutting-edge technology and employed hard-working New Mexicans to ensure that we have consistent, reliable energy when we need it. For life's loudest moments, quietest moments, and every moment in between. We're dedicated to providing you with energy now and into the future. All you have to do is dream of what to do with it next.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great Great futures start here.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
Rome. And there's only one home for Rome. The Jim Rome Show is up next at 10, 95.9 FM and AM 610. The Sports Animal.
Third time was the charm for New Mexico State on Saturday night. 3 chances to clinch the number 1 seed in the WAC. They did it with a 62-46 victory over Utah Valley at the Pan Am Center Saturday past. It's the opening drive. Jeff Symbieta, J.J. Buck looking forward to being in WAC Vegas at the Orleans. Aggies will open up in the semifinal round of the Western Athletic Conference Tournament as the number 1 seed. They'll play the 6 o'clock local time, 7 o'clock mountain time game against the survivor of the Grand Canyon, against either Sam Houston, Cal Baptist, or Rio Grande Valley. It's the opening drive. Jeff Symbieta, J.J. Buck, welcome back to the show. The head basketball coach at New Mexico State, Chris Jans. Congratulations on another conference championship. How you doing?
Hi, Jeff. Appreciate that. All good. Just waiting to head down to Vegas.
Little bumpy road down the stretch, certainly, and I know everybody's improved. Chicago State's improved, and everybody is, but not the way that you had it probably scripted for the last couple of weeks of the season. You got it done. Did you take lessons out of some of those tough losses?
I hope so. We'll find out this weekend more than likely. But like you said, it wasn't how we drew it up. But if you had told me, before the year started that, hey, if you could boil it down to beating Utah Valley at home on Saturday for the number 1 seed, would you take the chances, not knowing how the season would unfold? And I'm like, yes, every time. Yeah. Home game, last game, win it. So, again, you mentioned, leagues improved, teams are improved, and everybody's trying to win. That's what sometimes people forget, that these other coaches and these other players are doing everything that we're doing to prepare to play these games and win these games, and it's hard to win. It's hard to win. Everybody wants to do it, and the intensity always gets ratcheted up as you get toward the end of the season. Different teams are playing for different reasons, et cetera. And, we had 2 2-point losses there down the stretch, and could have taken some pressure off us the last game or 2. But, that's just not the way it unfolded for us. And hopefully, like you said, it's some lessons learned, and we'll grow from it even in this late in the season and be better prepared for the upcoming weekend games.
Chris, I say it all the time. The other guys are on scholarship too. Those other coaches are getting paid. They're getting bonuses. They've got video guys. They've got meetings. They're trying to win. I look around your league this year, and look, I'm not going to sit here and tell you it's the Big East. I get it. But I watched Stephen F. Austin play. I saw Sam Houston play. I'm not going to lie to you. The Chicago State thing surprised the hell out of me. But, yeah, this league got much more competitive.
Yeah, there was a lot of chatter about it in the summer and the fall, heading into the basketball season with the addition of the new teams to the WAC, and even some teams that were obviously been around the league and what they had back on paper. And I think as coaches, we knew it would be a competitive race. We had to play more games this year than in years past, so that became a little more of a grind with the 18-game league schedule, not what we're used to in this league, at least in my tenure since we've arrived. So it just is what it is. I mean, every league, if you get into any league in the country, every coach in that league, for the most part, is going to talk about how hard it is. And that's just the way it is. And I know fans want to win every game. Trust me, I wish we were 30-0 right now. That's always the goal, is to win every game. And, it's pretty unrealistic to think you're going to do that. I was fortunate enough one year as an assistant to be a part of a team that went unscathed all the way to the NCAA tournament, and we lost in the second round. But, those seasons are few and far between, and you just try to put your best foot forward. And certainly we use a mantra around here. We'd like to learn while we win, but at the same time, when you get humbled by a loss, when it's this late in the season, you get a little nervous, like, do we have enough time to, process this and get back to the way we had played earlier in the season, and hopefully we did, but time will tell.
Chris, how do you feel that the 18-game conference schedule with the different challenges this season might have prepared this team differently than in past years for what it takes to win in March in a tournament atmosphere?
Yeah, it's a good question. I'm not sure what the answer is. I know it was different. Just I had never been a part of a unbalanced league schedule where you didn't play everybody the same amount of times, and you would play random teams one time, either home or away, and that was definitely a different feel. I'm not saying that there wasn't a better way to do it. It's just that's the way our league did it this particular season, and the way it looks, it'll be very similar to that next year with some addition, subtraction to the WAC again. So it's just different. It was different feel. It's new territory, but we played in some good environments. We certainly had plenty of quality games in the fall and close games in the fall that we won for the most part. And then we had those couple games down the stretch where we had the 2-point losses. And we'll see. I can't imagine we won't find ourselves in, a tough situation or two this weekend, and we're going to have to rely on the experience that this team has gotten this year to try to pull us through. And I think most coaches, would draw upon those experiences during the game to try to remind your guys, hey, we've been here, done this, and let's figure this thing out. But, I don't have a crystal ball, so we'll see how the games unfold.
Aggie basketball coach Chris Jans is with us on the opening drive this morning.
Oh, Chris, you mentioned that experience, and your team has that, but also your program, what you've done has raised those expectations. But this particular group, what was the biggest thing that they had to learn together this season about Aggie basketball?
We definitely had a core group of guys back, names that are familiar with people that follow our program, with Johnny McCants and Jabari Rice and Will McNair, Clayton Henry, guys that have been around the block. Donnie Tillman have been with us for, a while, some more than others. But we had a lot of new faces. We had a lot of new players. Certainly the addition of Teddy Allen and his scoring prowess prior to being an Aggie was there. And there were some adjustments that had to be made within our team and within our personnel of different role identifications, different responsibilities. And it's always a work in progress. Obviously, every year you're going to have new faces and new players. But this year there certainly was a lot. And, coming off the COVID season when, I don't want to go into the details of it, but obviously everybody was aware around here of being replaced and not playing home games. And so that was still, there for us, to be honest with you. And we had a little bit of going back in time with the concessions being sold, and some of our fans were upset about that. Became somewhat of a distraction a little bit for everybody around here. But has, ups and downs. Like I said, I've been involved in one season where it wasn't that way, and you just got to roll with the punches and figure it out. And college basketball is a marathon. It's not a sprint. It's a long, long season. Months and months are involved, and you just got to try to put your best foot forward as many times as possible.
Chris, Teddy Allen was WAC Player of the Year, newcomer and Player of the Year, and he's been spectacular at times, and I know there's been some inconsistency down the stretch. You're going to need Teddy Allen probably to play like Teddy Allen, and as you guys call him, or maybe he just calls him, Teddy Buckets. But down the stretch, to win these 2 games, you got to win 2 and you get to the NCAA tournament. Teddy's going to have to be Teddy Buckets in this tournament for you guys to win.
Yeah, I would think at some point he's going to go on to one of his runs. We're better when he's playing better. I would say that most teams that have someone that scores at the level that he does would tell you the same thing. And we haven't been our best when he has struggled, to be honest. And he's been around. He's not a rookie. He knows what's at stake. He knows the gravity of the situation, and I think he'll respond in kind. He's not afraid of the moment. He's not afraid of competition. He's been really good in practice recently with his energy and his, going into some leadership roles for us. And, obviously we need other people to play well at the same time, but when he's, in his zone offensively, it just makes us much harder to guard. So he doesn't have to be perfect. We don't have to be perfect. We got to play, really, really well, and certainly we'll better when, like you said, Mr. Teddy gets it going on the offensive end, and we're going to try to put him in position to be successful, obviously, as a staff. And what I like is the season's unfolded is our players have understood him better and better, and they know when he needs that ball. They know when he's in one of those mini runs, and we've got to milk it for all it's worth. And you can see it on video. You can see it live. And when those times happen, we try to force feed it as much as we can to put him in position to continue to feel that hot streak and, try to get him to make some baskets for us.
And Chris, he obviously has a high level of talent, but what also makes him such an efficient scorer at times? And then when he is going, how does that open up other things for your offense?
I think what people are most surprised by when they meet him, I certainly was when he stepped on campus, is how big he is. I mean, he is a large human being. He's a big basketball player. He's got a big body, and I think people don't understand that. He's got that power game. He's like a big running back, on the basketball field, and he uses it. He's a physical offensive player. I mean, when he goes downhill, he'll punish some defenders at time, and I don't think people talk about that enough. And that's what sticks out to me most. And then the other thing for me, fortunately, and for our staff, is he's bought into the other facets of the game. I mean, he's been a consistent defender, a willing defender. He's realized as he gets more attention that it opens up things for other players. And certainly scorers have a scorer mentality, but at the same time, he's understood that he can make others better. And with the coverage he receives, he could find teammates for, wide open looks at the baskets, et cetera. So I love the fact that, he's understood that, and he's grown as a basketball player mentally as the season's unfolded. But, and the thing that's been difficult probably is, he makes bad shots. He really does. It's one of those classic cases of, the ball's in the air and you're like, what are you doing? Oh, good shot, Teddy. Good shot, and that's been a give and take all year long. Yeah. Let's just be frank with you. It's something that we've had lots of talks about as we got closer to the games, and then certainly in the season. We've had individual meetings, group, team meetings about it, and it's been a work in progress. And but it's just a fine line, with everybody, but certainly with a guy like that, the confidence level needs to be sky high, and at different times you got to live with it. And I'm okay with it sometimes because, you can at least rebound a missed shot. I'd rather have that issue than a guy that just turns it over all the time. You don't even get a chance to rebound a missed shot and turn over hard to guard than a missed shot. So, I think we're in a good place when it comes to that. But he certainly can take some doozies. Let's put it at that.
That's what makes a player of the year, right? They got to be a little bit special. Always appreciate this. And let's plan on Monday and talk about the tournament and what you got going forward as a matchup. And hopefully we're looking at an NCAA tournament berth on Monday. But I'll reach out to you and try to get you back in on Monday as we look forward to whatever's coming next week. Good luck in Vegas. I'll see you at the Orleans on Friday night. Safe travels over to WAC Vegas.
All right, guys. Appreciate you having me, man. Enjoy your March Madness.
Be well, Chris. Appreciate you.
All right.
Chris Jans, men's basketball coach. He's a hell of a description, but
right, and that's something that I don't think a lot of fans get is bad shot makers.
Yeah, and that's what makes them special.
Good players make bad shots.
Yeah,
and at times when it's maybe not going in, they'll say, "Oh, this person he's not good. He's not in the flow of the offense." No, that's just what elite scorers do at times.
505-246-0610. Respond to that. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
When you apply for a home loan, there are different options depending on your situation and needs.
I'm Ben Lucero, president and owner of Indigo Mortgage. We are a locally owned and operated mortgage company right here in New Mexico. This means your loan officers and processors are right here to serve you. Our mortgage divisions include residential, commercial, construction, reverse mortgages, and VA mortgage loan. Indigo Mortgage, because nobody cares more about your mortgage loan.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks. High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
Your surprisingly great rates? Contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
The energy landscape is limitless and ever-changing. Cleaner energy resources are crucial to New Mexico's environment. For 100 years, PNM has utilized cutting-edge technology and employed hard-working New Mexicans to ensure that we have consistent, reliable energy when we need it. For life's loudest moments, quietest moments, and every moment in between. We're dedicated to providing you with energy now and into the future. All you have to do is dream of what to do with it next.
Dream Style Roofing tops them all. When your roof's worn out and needs to be replaced, we're gonna do it right, put a smile on your face. They're at home, things are looking up when you get your roof done by someone you can trust. Dream Style, a company name that's been around forever. No one does it better. You need a new roof, you know who to call. Dream Style Roofing tops them all.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're number one in New Mexico for a reason. It's the best fence you can own. Proudly serving New Mexico for over 50 years. At Valley Fence, the difference is clear. No fence too big, too small, or difficult. We handle them all at Valley Fence Company.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
A burglary takes place in the United States approximately every 15 seconds. International Protective Service is your answer for commercial and residential security in all of Albuquerque. IPS will work with your monitoring company for fast, reliable response times. You can rest easy knowing you, your family, or your company is watched over by International Protective Service. Call International Protective Service today.
The energy landscape is limitless and ever-changing. Cleaner energy resources are crucial to New Mexico's environment. For 100 years, PNM has utilized cutting-edge technology and employed hard-working New Mexicans to ensure that we have consistent, reliable energy when we need it. For life's loudest moments, quietest moments, and every moment.
Coming on with us is they're headed to what they call WAC Vegas, Steph. WAC Vegas. Good. The West Coast Conference Tournament just wrapped up last night. The WAC will start today, and that's
wraps up tonight.
Wraps up. That's right. That's right. And then they're in a different building. They're not in the Orleans anymore. The Big West is going in there this year for the first time. So there's a ton going on. You're going to see
into Orleans.
No, into Vegas though.
Or
yeah, somewhere. I mean, like there's like Mandalay
West?
Bay, and you got the MGM. Yeah, I'm pretty sure the Big West is there too. Pretty sure you got it all headed out your way.
It's called T-Mobile Arena.
Pac-12 will be there. Yeah, looking forward.
Yeah.
No, it's good. Sid says, is Mr. Buck at South Point, Mr. Symbiota? That room looks familiar. I think I've stayed in it before. You don't have to tell him where you are. But he's watching you in your
I
room.
cannot give away my location due to my safety.
No, absolutely.
I don't want to be overwhelmed by the groupies.
And then Tilly would have a problem, and then we'd all have a problem. So, yeah, that wouldn't be good. The text line says, JJ, how do you travel so fast? Last night, play-by-play game ends around 9, and you're back for the 7 a.m. morning show. Again, secrets. How do you travel so fast? JJ's in a hotel
Secret
room.
private jets.
That's right. That's right. But take out what Jan said. Is his team ready? He's not really sure, is he? He says, I hope we learned. By the way, we're going to be in Vegas. JJ's there. I want to say thank you to the sponsors who are making sure we are all in Vegas for you. Jersey Mike's, a sub above. Coleman Vision, perfect vision, perfect game. Airport parking at exit 221, easier, quicker, smarter. Car Crafter, celebrating 40 years in Albuquerque. And the Albuquerque Hispano Chamber of Commerce, join, connect, and thrive. I got from him, I think we're ready. I hope we learned, but we'll find out when we get to Vegas.
Yeah, these are the questions that are only answered on the basketball floor. Because you've had the conversations. I think you laid it out, too, when we talked about the other day, is you address that team, you talk to them one-on-one as a team, kind of call them out, which I'm sure he did. I know Chris Jans is that type of dude with his players. And then you see, what had they learned? They responded, bounced back, won a WAC championship at home, and I have to take those lessons into Vegas. And I think what he said and what we talked about is real. It's like, yes, we're looking at New Mexico State being a WAC regular season champ again, but there's a few more question marks with this team just when those losses came. And losing at Chicago State, like, that shouldn't happen. Like, even if you want to say they're on scholarship too, all this fun stuff, like, that's a game that is absolutely shocking for New Mexico State. And then so Chris alluded to it. yeah, there's different questions when you lose late in the season. And now the lessons, find out Friday night what they learned.
I was just talking to Aggie fan about 4 minutes ago. Not super secure like they normally are going to Vegas, right? Normally they go in as the 1 seed and they're like, all right, yeah, whatever. We may get pushed by Grand Canyon or somebody, but whatever, we're fine, right? Aggie fan typically right now going into these 2 games in Vegas feels pretty good. I don't know that Aggie fan feels that great right now. I think they feel like they can win, might even feel like they should win, but I'm not sure that Aggie fan feels as secure that they will win as they normally do as we sit here on the Tuesday of the first full week in March.
And that's, a good question, too, to talk about. What is it maybe a point guard? Is it the team defensively? Because you look at it, they got all the pieces. So kind of what's been different about this team to have that feeling?
Reset for you. JJ's in Vegas where the Lobo women won last night. They'll play tonight in the semifinals of the conference tournament. Get you through March Madness stuff. The football, Calvin Ridley. It's the opening drive. Jeff, JJ, no A. Marie. Steph in today. Adrienne on 95.9 FM and AM 610 the Sports Animal.
Hi, I'm Mike.
Dream Style Roofing tops them all. When your roof's worn out and needs to be replaced, we're gonna do it right, put a smile on your face. They're at home, things are looking up when you get your roof done by someone you can trust. Dream Style, a company name that's been around forever, no one does it better. You need a new roof, you know who to call. Dream Style Roofing tops them all.
Jackson Compaction wants to help you keep your green. And keep the community green as well. Jackson Compaction has worked hard to maintain the same prices since day one. Always easy and painless trash removal with professional crews and quality service. If it's non-hazardous waste, debris, or trash on your land, leave it to us. At Jackson Compaction, we're dedicated to ensuring the conservation of our environment. You trash it, we smash it. Jackson Compaction, we've earned a reputation for great results.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best. Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're number one in New Mexico for a reason. It's the best fence you can own. Proudly serving New Mexico for over 50 years. At Valley Fence, the difference is clear. No fence too big, too small, or difficult. We handle them all at Valley Fence Company.
o'clock in the morning. 7 a.m., where have you been? 7 a.m., where is your brother?
Now, voted the best sports show in New Mexico for 5 years running. This is the opening drive with 3-time New Mexico Sportscaster of the Year, Jeff Symbieta and JJ Bach.
Vegas, baby. That's where JJ is. We're in Vegas this week. Looking forward to it. Lobo women were winners last night in Vegas, baby. 63-60. They beat San Diego State. Lobo women advanced to the semifinals of the Mountain West Conference Tournament. They will play Colorado State this evening. You'll hear it here on the Sports Animal. JJ and Nikki will crack the microphone at 8 o'clock from Thomas and Mack Center. I'm on my way. Looking forward to be there as well. Saying thank you to Coleman Vision, perfect game. Airport parking at exit 221. It's easier, quicker, it's smarter. Albuquerque Hispano Chamber of Commerce. Join, connect, thrive. Car Crafter celebrating 40 years in Albuquerque. Jersey Mike's a sub above. Those are the fine partners who are making sure that JJ Buck and I are in Vegas for you this week. The Lobo men will open up tomorrow. It is now tomorrow. They will play the early game. They'll be over on News Radio KKOB at noon Mountain Time. They will play your guys Steve Alford and Craig Neal in Nevada. Looking forward to that. There'll be a little buzz around that. It could be Lobo women win tonight. JJ, we could have a nice doubleheader Lobo fan all around the Thomas and Mack tomorrow.
Yes, it could get very exciting at the Thomas and Mack tomorrow.
All right, I got a few correspondents. Well, Calvin Ridley's been the big story, and Ralph is in on Calvin Ridley, and said the power of the NFL. He says a guy that was inactive, who bet a parlay, dominates the airwaves during March when college basketball should be top of the menu. By the way, in a college basketball town. JJ's right. 8 games is fair. Ridley didn't play, did not have access to team or game plan, etc. 8 games is still very significant. Remember Tommy and his deflated football, which also impacts the integrity of the game? He only got 4 games. I don't think that's analogous. I just, with all due respect, and Ralph's my guy, I don't think they're analogous. I don't.
I don't know if we're going to see more push after this, but it's something that has to be addressed just overall, because players are participating in fantasy football. You have the partnerships with all the gambling sites, all the betting that is going on, and you want to keep that out of your game. That's understandable. Players, coaches, officials, all that being said, a year penalty, I would be okay if they cut it in half and then escalated it from there.
Michigan's basketball team, says the text machine, the Fab Five got involved in a point-fixing scheme. Did they?
No.
The NBA official bet on games they worked. Pete Rose bet on games he worked. Betting on one sport isn't a problem. Betting on their team or involvement is. I'm not even sure what that means to me. Hello, Grady. How are you?
Rockabilly band fan.
That's right. That's right.
OD in the AM. I'm doing all right. How about you guys?
Well, thank you. What's going on?
So this Calvin Ridley thing is interesting, but I agree with you. I think it's pretty simple, and the integrity of the game, and maybe folks don't really understand what that means, because it's been brought up in people's responses and grasping at straws through ridiculous comparisons. What that means basically is you're eliminating the chance out of the game. So basically, you're making it professional wrestling. There's a reason that you can't go down to your local sports book and place a bet on WrestleMania or any other professional wrestling
event.
Because
it's fake?
Because the outcome is predetermined. It's scripted. It's still entertainment. It's still popular. But that's what makes sports sport. It's the element of chance. And could Calvin Ridley in his one singular position have affected that? No, of course not. But just like you said, once you leave the door even cracked for that possibility, then you're in real trouble. Because we have all kinds of crackpot conspiracy theories. Oh, the league wants this and the league does that, and they don't want the Cowboys to win or what have you. But if all of a sudden you can point to a concrete example of someone who has bet, then all of a sudden you give that stuff legs. You give those people momentum, and your game all of a sudden is in trouble. And you said it best, Jeff, talking about all the sponsors of the betting and all that. But it's not just that sponsor money. It's all the sponsor money, all the TV money is based upon the fact that it's a game. It's chance. You don't know who's going to win or who's going to lose. And if that goes away, then it's not football anymore. And I'm sorry if Calvin Ridley, if you know the rules and whatever the punishment was set and you violate it, then that's what you got to do. And all these people talking about, oh well, Pete Rose and wah. Pete Rose knew the rules too.
That's right.
And guess what? He still decided to do it, and
he's still paying
where he needs to be. So Calvin Ridley, sorry, man, it's a cautionary tale, but yes, they are making an example of him because they, being the NFL owners, have everything to lose.
You and I are lock stock on this. Grady, appreciate you. Thank you. Enjoy the
time.
state tournament. Later. To me, it really is that simple. And I know if you want to tell me 8 games, I'll listen to that. Okay, because I do think, JJ, this is on the low end. And they haven't dealt with this yet. You can't bet on your game. I don't. It's really. It is that simple to me. It really is that simple. Well, Jeff, domestic violence. Okay, it's another issue. It's another conversation. Well, what about this owner? Okay, deal with that other owner. Well, no, deflated footballs to me is to me that's the biggest non-scandal we've ever had in sports. You can't bet on your game. You can't when you're employed, when you have knowledge. You can't. And it's posted, and it's told, and it's known, and it's agreed upon.
To me, it is simple. If you want to point out the relationship should be addressed, maybe different penalties, okay, but it should still be a penalty because you just can't do it. And just because you're making money off something doesn't mean you should open the door to the players to do it. As you said, it's sponsorship dollars. It's going to the NFL. It's revenue for the owners and ultimately should be for the players when it comes down to handling the salaries. And to me, I don't see a big hypocrisy in that. Just because you're making money off these gambling sites and players can't bet. Well, you know what? Maybe you should stick to your basketball parlay. Doncic's 10.5 assists and Nikola Jokic triple-double.
Look, there's
you can't bet on your game. It's pretty simple.
There's a difference to me between evolving your thinking or your acceptance of betting in society, right? And understanding it, and ultimately, as the league has, embracing it and allowing your players to partake in it.
Yeah, because it comes down to if you have your players in it, and it doesn't matter if it's $1,500 or $100,000, that's when you start going down the hill of where are they betting, who are they betting with. Now, I think people feel more secure now when you're betting with sites and you're using DraftKings and FanDuel because you're not going to have a bookie coming after your knees in those situations. So I think that's where a lot of the changes come along to where there's kind of some people haven't realized that. They still might look at it as taboo, but the more it's legalized, you have big companies doing it, that takes away from necessarily getting down those roads of being in with the wrong people and then being forced to have to do things to get on the right side.
To me, they're just two different issues. Yes, they're partners with these sites, with these companies who are feeding them lots of money. By the way, that money is then translating into a lot more money in salary for the players. That's part of it, just like the beer company, like the insurance company, like whatever. But there's a difference between, we'll run their commercials and we'll run the odds on the screen. Oh, and we'll run the, Fox Bet says during the game that they've got a what % probability of winning. There still is a line between that and our participants can bet on the games. I just don't. If you don't see it, I don't understand how you don't see it. I honestly, they can. Well, they didn't, but they can influence the game, influence the outcome, and hence all of a sudden, it's WWE, and it can't be. What's wrong with WWE, Jeff? Well, you're not betting on it. You can't. It's predetermined. All right. The reason JJ travels so well is because he's got a doppelganger. Do you have a doppelganger? I was just having this conversation with the boss in the big boss in the break room. Are you a heavy packer? Because I told Steph, and Steph, was that offensive when I said I pack like a chick? Like I pack heavy. If it fits into
Hey,
what?
now.
What is that bad? I do, dude. 2, 3
You
pairs
pack
of shoes.
like Jeff.
Okay. I
What if you forget something?
exactly.
Yeah.
What I
You have to
should
be
have stuffed that
prepared
shirt
for however long you're going to be somewhere.
in. I might want to wear a short sleeve shirt, or I might want to wear long sleeves, or it might be chilly, or I mean, I don't know, dude.
Bring light
it fits,
jacket.
It fits in the bag.
Very important right now.
Light jacket.
No, it was chilly yesterday. A little
Was it?
windy.
Yeah.
No snow.
No
but
snow. Well, I had dusting of snow this morning. How do you? Are you a heavy packer?
I am I don't overpack. I just pack for the allotted time. I guess if that makes sense.
Nah, I overpack. I'm not gonna lie.
I overpack.
And I travel. I do travel a lot. I understand that, and I should be better at this by now. I don't. I don't even care. Like if it fits in
You
that.
want to have options.
Yeah.
You know, what if you're eating some spaghetti and you're like meatballs all over this shirt?
No doubt. I do draw a acai bowl and you get it on the white pullover.
It's like, oh man.
I have watched those videos where they show you how to
I've
pack
watched them
your
too. They're
bags,
full of
you know,
crap.
and like they're rolling socks into each other.
Yeah,
and
no,
stuff, like
I
they fit the
jam my
maximum.
socks in the shoes, and I got all that down. I just
Oh, that's a good move.
it saves space. I if it fits in the bag, but I do try to draw the line. It's got to be a carry-on because the time that it takes to wait for your luggage to come off, like it's got to be a carry-on.
That's pretty impressive.
What?
To get that amount of stuff in a carry-on?
Dude, I jammed
That's
so much
impressive.
crap
It was
into one of
so
those-
heavy. His backpack.
That's my back. Well, my backpack's got the 2 computers, my DOP kit, and a pair of shoes, and no,
Well,
it's
you
heavy.
get 2, so you get your backpack, then your that's impressive. I'm impressed because I do have a suitcase.
Yeah,
It's on the smaller size, but I do check it.
So I hate checking it. I hate waiting for it. And then if you don't, I do have direct flights on this trip. But if you don't, then there's an opportunity that they get lost. And the other thing is, if you check your luggage and then you change your flight, and how many times have I been at the gate and flight got canceled. I need to get on that flight and that flight. How many stories have I told you about that?
Yeah, where
Countless,
does it go?
right? And where's your bags? And so, I think I've taken one trip. I even think the Hawaii trip. Maybe I packed my. I didn't. I carried on. I took one LA trip at the beginning of the year where I did luggage I checked. But no, I pack heavy, man. I wish I was better. I'm just not, and I've kind of conceded to that.
Yeah, half the
I'm
stuff I don't
impressed
even
that you
use.
get it in a carry-on though.
You see the New Mexico
That is
Bowl
very
luggage? We
impressive.
do good stuff, man.
You need to teach me the tricks of the trade.
I'll work on that with you. All right, 505-246-0610, 888-922-0610. Kirtland Federal Credit Union, New Mexico, strong since 1958. It's your home loan lender and home loan leader. They're built in the heart of Albuquerque. It's their goal to help New Mexicans achieve the dream of home ownership with the right loans, local expertise, and a relationship that's built on trust. The Kirtland Federal Credit Union mortgage team is 100% local. Your loan stays local. You'll never send a payment anywhere but local. It'll never go out of state. You have a question when you reach out to talk to someone about your new home, you will talk to someone right here in Albuquerque. Meet the Kirtland Federal Credit Union mortgage team. Get started today at kirtlandfcu.org/home loan center. kirtlandfcu.org/home loan center. Kirtland Federal Credit Union is an equal opportunity lender. Membership eligibility required. See a representative for complete details.
Welcome to
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number 1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS Network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
The energy landscape is limitless and ever-changing. Cleaner energy resources are crucial to New Mexico's environment. For 100 years, PNM has utilized cutting-edge technology and employed hard-working New Mexicans to ensure that we have consistent, reliable energy when we need it. For life's loudest moments, quietest moments, and every moment in between. We're dedicated to providing you with energy now and into the future. All you have to do is dream of what to do with it next.
I'm Ben Lucero, president and owner of Indigo Mortgage. We are a locally owned and operated mortgage company right here in New Mexico. This means your loan officers and processors are right here to serve you. Our mortgage divisions include residential, commercial, construction, reverse mortgages, and VA mortgage loan. Indigo Mortgage, because nobody cares more about your mortgage loan.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Jackson Compaction wants to help you keep your green and keep the community green as well. Jackson Compaction has worked hard to maintain the same prices since day one. Always easy and painless trash removal with professional crews and quality service. If it's non-hazardous waste, debris, or trash on your land, leave it to us. At Jackson Compaction, we're dedicated to ensuring the conservation of our environment. You trash it, we smash it. Jackson Compaction, we've earned a reputation for great results.
You trusted your home or business security to a company with an armed response. They sold out to a national corporate giant, and you're stuck on the brink of less security. I'm Aaron Jones, owner of International Protective Service. IPS isn't for sale. I'm invested here, and I care about your home and business as if it's my own. Let the highly trained armed guards or 24-hour patrols of IPS protect what's yours. With faster response times to catch criminals and less associated costs. Call 897-2420 or go to ipsglobal.com.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends.
FM and AM 610, the sports animal.
Lobo men go tomorrow in Vegas. Will Jay Allen Tovar play? That's really going to be the big question mark for New Mexico. Jeff Grammer reported that the starting big man was in a boot yesterday. Remember, he left Saturday's game, played 5 minutes after what appeared to be turning his ankle. Dan says on JR's boot, Jeffrey Juan Jose, No Ana Maria y Gato Estefe. Last year, Giddens played, the year Giddens played for McKay, he pouted in his boot on the bench much of the season. I find it hard to believe that if Jay Allen Tovar is in a boot on Monday, he'll be good to go on Wednesday. So Grammer said that he was in good spirits but was in a boot. No update from Richard Pitino. He was on with us yesterday. Look, you and I both agree he's got to go for them to have a chance, right?
Yeah, but then it's at what level is he effective? If he's on the floor, but he is well below even 50%, then you're not going to get a lot of minutes out of him. You just have to keep your fingers crossed. And could you get 15 and 20 solid minutes out of Jalen Tovar? So I think that's the big question right there.
All right. James is in on the women. Jeff, the rusty Phillies needed that game. I expect a much sharper effort from the Lady Lobos tonight. Were they rusty? I don't know. They came out on an 18-4 run after having 10 days off. Is that what they started the game, 18-4?
It was 13-4.
13-4, sorry. Something teen 4. Yeah. Were they rusty?
They weren't rusty.
Is that why that game was tight?
It was a physical game. The Aztecs got into them. So it wasn't all just the Lobos being rusty. They looked a lot better when physically, just the time away and seeing that team. Yeah, Latasia Duff was off. Antonio Anderson was off. offensively. But then AT battled on the board. She finished with 10 rebounds. You know, Tay Duff is still going to be out there taking shots. So I'm not going to say that they were rusty. It was, you know, it's that matchup, and you don't want to hear it. James obviously doesn't want to hear it because he can just talk down every opponent that the Lobos play. That's a tough matchup. They're bigger at every position than New Mexico, and that's why that game so close, because they got up into the Lobos. They weren't getting great looks all the time. They're missing some shots. So New Mexico had to dig deeper and win a game, you know, in a bit of different way last night. But I think it was a good test, you know, to get that shock, that punch right away, and refocus for Colorado State.
Richard says the difference in the game, Jeff, was the cheerleaders and the chaparrals didn't have masks, but SDSU's version did. I thought in a tight game, the loss in energy and enthusiasm coming from the Aztecs cheer squad could very well have been the difference. No masks on the cheer squad, JJ. That was the difference.
You're looking for every advantage you can get.
No doubt. Sid says, take me off the list, Mr. Symbieta. Please, take Sid off that list of folks you mentioned who still care about the Dukes.
Wow.
As you know, I jumped off the bandwagon in 2018 and haven't looked back. I did think it was interesting that I was mocked for a decade when I said the key to success in the major leagues was winning at this level. Yet that Dukes honcho yesterday basically said the same thing. If you want to win in Denver, you need to learn how to win in Albuquerque Sports Stadium first. It's from Sid. Take me off the list.
He gone.
All right, Sid. I think down deep Sid really still cares. But he says take him off the damn list.
All right.
You going to get a nap today, by the way?
We'll see. Got a lot of time to kill today.
I mean, you had 7. What time did you get back to? What time did you leave the gym last night?
It wasn't bad. We got back to the hotel like 8:45.
Well, that's not bad. It's 9:45ish here. All right, and then you went out and partied until what, about 3?
Oh, you know it.
Well, I mean, I kind of
With
do.
all the Zags fans just living up their semifinal victory.
That's big.
It's going hard.
Yeah, no, that's good. I'm glad you're enjoying Vegas. Gopher says Hama is the perfect OD producer, Jeff. A lot of listeners don't realize that Stephanie's a former pro wrestler.
What was your character?
The Hama.
Villanucci loved to call me the Hammer.
Yeah,
The Hama. Okay.
She's the Hama.
I have no idea where he came that.
And who knows?
Well, I want to know what your finishing move was, though.
Ooh, what was
Stunner.
it? Was it just the
suplex?
elbow just coming down?
People's elbow.
Yeah, like that elbow.
Yeah. Look at, actually, you should see their face when she just did that too.
I imagine my
So
ex.
good. Oh, her ex. It got even a little tighter too. Yep. Gopher says Steve Alford in Nevada minus 4.5. Jeff, am I crazy thinking the line should be at least a touchdown tonight? Where's Comfort? I have no idea, dude. First of all, without knowing, or it's for tomorrow, without knowing whether Jalen Tovar's playing, I would have no idea how to bet this game. Not that look, you know where I am too.
Oh.
I'm so glad I haven't bet this year because I would have
Speaking of betting.
smoked. Yeah, speaking of betting. You got a good one?
No, but I mean, like, that's allowed because we're not
well, you and I are allowed to.
participating in the
Or our listeners or
contest.
staff is, right?
Speaking of betting,
Yeah.
since it is in Vegas, are people allowed to bet on these college games?
Of course. Oh yeah. You should see the sports book. JJ and I did this show from the sports book at the old Hard Rock back in the day, and there was one of CBS's big broadcasters right there placing his bets, and we hey come on over here, and he came on with us right after he placed his bets. Right?
You literally could bet on
Yeah.
anything. In
Yes.
Vegas.
You just want to bet on the game you're calling.
Yeah, that's true. Or
Why not?
in. Or in.
Or participating.
It's like when they have game day everything and like Herbie's calling the game, so he's not making a pick.
Can't make a call on this Herbert.
You don't want it to be slanted in the commentary.
That's right. Yeah, I can't. But that guy could put on the head of the mascot and wave. Oh, hey, Bernie Buckeye or Bobby. What's the Buckeye's name? Bernie? Bucky? I don't know what it is.
Brutus.
It might be that too. Yeah, it very well might be that too. Maybe it's all of the above. Didn't the suspended NFL betting player in the news at least win his parlay bet? See, I don't know if he won. Good odds in a $1,500 bet could have paid a lot of cash, like the 22-leg parlay at $1.10 that paid $55,000.
I don't think it's going to quite make up his lost NFL salary for the season.
Yeah, I think he was making like $10 to $12 million, but the NFL player who was suspended was Calvin Ridley. There was that story. So, Steph, there was a guy bet $1.10 on a 22-leg parlay, meaning he has to hit all 22 bets, and it paid $55,000. Now, look, it sounds great. I'm going to go do it. It's damn near impossible. That's why you don't hear it very often. You're not going to win. Parlays are real, like 4-leg parlays, 3-leg parlays are hard to hit, for crying out loud. And this dude hit 22. But did he win the bet? Did Calvin Ridley win the bet for which he's getting punished?
That's the next part of this story. I mean, come on. Did he win his bet?
Right? It's just like
Maybe they should take his yearly salary that he's not going to obviously get and like donate it to like a gambling problem or addiction help.
Or maybe to help him deal with, because he was already out on mental
health,
issues.
right?
Yeah, he was out on mental health stuff. That's interesting. That's what Lenny's whole thing was. Well, now they're not helping him. They're throwing him out on the street, basically, and giving him no help. He's going to get help. If he needs help, if he seeks help, he will get help. Right?
Yes, and you never know, but hopefully you have good people around you that do care about you and can help you in those situations.
Yeah. All right, what do you got the rest of the way? I got to go catch a flight to go find you. We got
See you this afternoon.
Yeah, see this. Should I go to the game tonight?
Yeah, you should come hang out with us.
I'm
pretty
kidding. Cool. I'll be your halftime show. By the way, A-Marie did the game with me.
How was that? How did it go?
Was really good. Actually, she did really, really well. And halftime, I backed out. I said, "You got halftime," and so she interviewed a kid in an Academy Letterman's jacket. It was my kid.
You got halftime. I'm done. I don't do halftime shows.
No, she wanted to interview my kid, so she interviewed a two-sport athlete wearing an Albuquerque Academy Letterman's jacket on the state runner-up cross-country team. It was actually
That's a good halftime interview.
Nice job. They did a really nice job. But no, she did well, and hopefully she's going to get more ProView stuff because she knows her stuff. She was feeling her way. It's like anything else, man. You know the first time, right? And she was trying to figure out when to jump in, and you know how I do games. You and I have done it. Probably like you do. I'll call the play. I'll pause. If the analyst jumps in, I let them go, and if they don't, I continue. Right? You leave an opening, and that's kind of how it is. If they got something to say something. And if not, it's my job to continue to talk.
If you got something to say it. Get it out.
It's kind of the way it is, right? Is that unfair?
Yes. No.
I was proud of A-Marie. I thought she did a really nice job, and it was fun working with her. She was really excited, so it was cool. All right, JJ's got you the rest of the way. Steph, you want to play radio with him?
Sure.
I'm going to go try to see if I can lift all my heavy chick-packed luggage. And see if I can
get it on the airplane.
If the airplane's heavy, can handle the load. I don't want to break the spine of the jet. I will see you in Vegas later tonight. I'll see you at the Thomas and Mack. Maybe what time's the media buffet, JJ? Or should we go eat somewhere before and have a real meal?
Real meal will probably be the best way to go.
Please don't get sick this time.
That was so bad stuff.
Oh, jeez.
I was just telling Drury.
Don't put that bad voodoo on me.
I'm not going to that place again. Like, and getting sick off an expensive meal, like a nice meal, the food poisoning's worse. I'm just telling you. It just is. All right, be kind, loving, caring, and sharing, please. JJ's got you the rest of the way. I'm going to go try to leave on a jet plane. Don't know when I'll be back again. Oh, Lord. I hate to go. See you later. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610 Sports Animal.
The madness is coming.
Best restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot. It's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
For your surprisingly great rates, Contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
A burglary takes place in the United States approximately every 15 seconds. International Protective Service is your answer for commercial and residential security in all of Albuquerque. IPS will work with your monitoring company for fast, reliable response times. You can rest easy knowing you, your family, or your company is watched over by International Protective Service. Call International Protective Service today.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
The energy landscape is limitless and ever-changing. Cleaner energy resources are crucial to New Mexico's environment. For 100 years, PNM has utilized cutting-edge technology and employed hard-working New Mexicans to ensure that we have consistent, reliable energy when we need it. For life's loudest moments, quietest moments, and every moment in between. We're dedicated to providing you with energy now and into the future. All you have to do is dream of what to do with it next.
Taunts versus threats. That's the situation Russell Westbrook finds himself in right now. We know it's been a roller coaster season for the Los Angeles Lakers, and LeBron James scoring 56 points on a Saturday night, beating the Warriors, still does not make everything okay with the Los Angeles Lakers. And at the forefront of this, it's been Russell Westbrook taking a ton of criticism, but it's the taunts versus the threats. What it do, everyone? Opening drive here on 95.9 FM, AM 610, the Sports Animal. JJ Buck with you, Steph. Jeff Simbetta off to catch an airplane. Is going to join me in Las Vegas this afternoon. The opening drive coming to you live from Las Vegas all week long with the Mountain West Tournament coverage, both men's and women's, with UNM. Of course, got WAC on deck with New Mexico State playing Friday night, dabbling, of course, some Pac-12 and everything else that's going on here in Las Vegas because it's popping. It's March Madness. But with Russell Westbrook, he elaborated yesterday on some of the stuff that's going down. And Russell Westbrook's wife took to social media, and anytime that happens, things can get a little crazy. But the hardest thing is to ignore the noise on social media because people are stupid online. They'll say the worst things because they know there's no repercussions, death threats, all this stuff that goes down because the dude's playing some bad basketball right now. And Russell Westbrook addressing that, his wife coming out saying that people are attacking her and the family. And, yeah, that is the bad side of being a high-profile athlete. It's not okay, but you got to ignore that noise. And somehow, some way, even if you're on social media and you want to do your thing, you can't look at the comments. You got to turn that off because people are going to be their absolute worst on social media with whatever it is. But especially the athletes, they feel like because they're supporting a team, because they're watching an athlete, that they have the right to go down certain roads. And this is what I'm talking about, the taunts versus the threats. The threats, all that stuff that happens on social media, people that want to cross the line, you're terrible. You're dumb, and you're the worst thing about sports is the people that act like that. I'll never get it. I'll never understand why people think it's okay to, even if you're joking, throw stuff like that out online. But everyone's a keyboard warrior when it comes to not having to deal with someone face-to-face with what you're saying. But Russell Westbrook right now is dealing with that battle of he has become the person that's wrong with the Lakers. And we have Magic Johnson coming out saying the Russell Westbrook was the worst trade ever for the Los Angeles Lakers. That's going to pile more on Westbrook when you have the team that is struggling. They're in a play-in position, and it's not Anthony Davis right now that was taking the brunt of that, dealing with his injuries. It's now on Russell Westbrook. By the way, he's pretty much right on his career averages when it comes to field goal shooting because he's never been a great shooter. But it's magnified in this time because you're playing alongside LeBron James, and you're playing on a team that before the season started was viewed as a favorite in the Western Conference. So who's going to be the scapegoat in this? It's not going to be LeBron James because it's never LeBron James. Now we're talking about LeBron James, the general manager, and maybe the bad decisions that he has made. But Russell Westbrook right now dealing with the taunts versus the threats. Now the one thing that Russell Westbrook himself has to deal with is the West Brick chance. That's going to happen, buddy. You're not a good shooter. He said that it's shaming his family's name, the West Brick chant. So to me, that's the difference. The taunts in the arena, you're going to get it, versus the threats online that now your family even has to deal with if they're on social media. But that is what Russell Westbrook is trying to navigate right now himself. There's a ton of pressure on him. He's not playing well. He's battling the stuff that's happened online with his family, the stuff that's happening to him in the arena. But that stuff that happens in the arena, if it's just West Brick, like that stuff comes with being an athlete on the road and, heck, even at home right now, where the Lakers are getting booed at Crypto.com arena. But this is one of the things we constantly talk about is, when you're an athlete, the stuff that you have to accept versus stuff that's ridiculous. And online stuff, we get it. Those threats, all that stuff is ridiculous. But for Russell Westbrook, the pressure that's mounting on him, that he's become the scapegoat for this bad season for the Los Angeles Lakers, I don't know what's next for Russ. Because we're already sitting here talking about stories about how the Lakers want to move on, where they're going to move him to. Well, you can always trade a bad contract in the NBA. You can always find someone that wants to take on some money, dump it somewhere else. But it's more on, what can you get out of Russell Westbrook? Because we all assume that this would work. Maybe Russell Westbrook as the third wheel, him picking up some slack when LeBron and AD are on the bench, but it hasn't worked out that way at all. Because I think we're seeing that Russell Westbrook is having just a bad season in regards to the expectations that comes with putting on that jersey and not being a dude that's just balling with the Washington Wizards or they're at the end with the Houston Rockets. And the overall makeup of that roster, it wasn't good. They doubled down on what won them a championship, and that was being a big physical team. It worked in the moment. That is not going to work moving forward. They have no shooters, and when Anthony Davis isn't on the floor, you don't have your get-by guy out there. So we see it. So it's watching Russell Westbrook try to figure this out. You got LeBron James dropping 56 points the other night, but this team is in shambles, and it just highlights once again, the taunts versus the threats. And for Russell Westbrook to come out there and say, the taunting is shaming his family name, yeah, that hurts, man. They're coming after you. They're using your last name to emphasize how poorly you're playing, but that's the taunting side. That's not the threatening side. Somehow, someway, you got to turn off that social media, and that is so hard to do. It doesn't matter who you are if you're on social media. You're seeing it. People are taking shots. You try to respond and don't type this out. Life ain't easy. But for Russell Westbrook, man, it is an unbelievable season how he has gone from a dude that we thought could carry this team at points in a regular season to everyone pointing at him and saying, man, you've ruined this. Russell Westbrook hasn't ruined the Lakers. The decisions overall, where the roster is without Anthony Davis, which is still a huge factor. If he's not on the floor, we're seeing that LeBron James more times than not, can't be that dude night in and night out in this league. He can have those moments like he did, scoring 56 points against the Warriors. But overall, he ain't that same dude. And that's why there's so much more pressure on Russell Westbrook, looking at him to be that dude to take it to the next level. And he hasn't quite been there. And we get into this, Westbrook talking, speaking out. There's a difference. The taunts versus the threats. And the threats, that stuff is ridiculous. That's dumb. That's stupid. People that do that want to be keyboard warriors. Have fun with your terrible life when it comes to that. But the in-arena stuff, man, you're going to get booed. They're going to chant Westbrook when you're not shooting well. You've never been a great shooter. And he's shooting 43% on the season, which is actually in line with his career averages. It's just magnified when you're under the lights in the Crypto.com arena, playing alongside LeBron James, being on a team that had high expectations coming in this season. But maybe we, as a collective, overvalued the Lakers, because that's what we tend to do with LeBron James, because we just expect him to carry whoever is with him to that next level. And that's a team that just, they ain't got the switch this season. They cannot be flipping that switch, even with that dude, LeBron James, still playing at a high level. There's just too many other question marks on the roster. But with that being said, we're seeing an amazing season. Nikola Jokic, Joel Embiid, Giannis, DeMar DeRozan with the Chicago Bulls. So many dudes putting up unbelievable numbers. That's what makes it that much harder. You want to talk about Ja Morant? Absolutely. You want to talk about the Phoenix Suns still being competitive without Devin Booker and Chris Paul? Yes. You want to talk about the Golden State Warriors being in a slump but still being one of the most dangerous teams in basketball? You have all these things going on, which just makes it that much tougher for this Lakers team to try to just flip that switch and turn it on. Because the NBA season down the stretch is watch television, just like March Madness is. We're in Las Vegas getting ready for the semifinals Mountain West Women's Basketball Tournament. Got the Lobos coming to town today, the men. They play Nevada tomorrow. We got you covered opening drive live in Las Vegas. Come back on the other side. We'll dive into what's on deck here in Vegas, all the college basketball action. It is the opening drive here on 95.9 FM, AM 610, the Sports Animal.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
Your surprisingly great rates? Contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
The energy landscape is limitless and ever-changing. Cleaner energy resources are crucial to New Mexico's environment. For 100 years, PNM has utilized cutting-edge technology and employed hard-working New Mexicans to ensure that we have consistent, reliable energy when we need it. For life's loudest moments, quietest moments, and every moment in between. We're dedicated to providing you with energy now and into the future. All you have to do is dream of what to do with it next.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
The energy landscape is limitless and ever-changing. Cleaner energy resources are crucial to New Mexico's environment. For 100 years, PNM has utilized cutting-edge technology and employed hard-working New Mexicans to ensure that we have consistent.
It's over. The drama, the daily conversation, asking what if, where is he going? It's over. Ian Rappaport, breaking news, folks. Sound the alarms. Ian Rappaport, Packers and MVP quarterback Aaron Rodgers have agreed to terms on a 4-year, $200 million deal that makes Rodgers the highest paid player in NFL history. He gets $153 million guaranteed. The cap number goes down. That is insane. You give the dude more money than anyone else. $153 million guaranteed over 4 years for a 38-year-old quarterback, Aaron Rodgers, and his cap number comes down. Aaron Rodgers is finishing his career as a Green Bay Packer. The what-if game, the drama, the social media message, all that is done. The dude got paid, and he milked the Packers for every cent that they have. And here's the reality of the situation. While we can take a step back and go, how are they going to pay anyone else? You know, is Devontae Adams going to get his money? How are they going to put people around him? Obviously, Aaron Rodgers doesn't care about that. He wants his money because he still knows that even with that $200 million commitment over 4 years, he is still the best chance of the Packers competing and being relevant. As we want to say, lack of weapons. We still had an MVP season. They still are in position to win a game at home. Came up short again to go to the Super Bowl. So that's Aaron Rodgers' mindset. Pay me the money, and I will be that dude that will continue to get to that point. And now you got to play that cap magic. But also, Green Bay's never really been that team that dumps money on free agents. It's really all been about Aaron Rodgers since he's taken over as a quarterback of the Green Bay Packers and players that they get in the draft. But he's not going to be a Denver Bronco. He's not going anywhere else. Aaron Rodgers has agreed to a 4-year, $200 million contract with the Green Bay Packers. Now we move on to the next story. And is Russell Wilson become the most coveted quarterback? You remember there was a time where we thought he might be a Chicago Bear last offseason. What does the future of the Seattle Seahawks look like? It feels like they should be in an okay position. You got Russell Wilson. You have 2 solid wide receivers. But Pete Carroll, he's still hanging around. There are some question marks with that. So is Russell Wilson trying to get his name out there now that his value rises in this conversation that we know Aaron Rodgers is off the table? He is a Green Bay Packer for the rest of his career when you commit $153 million guaranteed over the next 4 years for the 38-year-old quarterback. It's opening drive here on 95.9 FM, AM 610, The Sports Animal. JJ Buck with you as Jeff Smieta on his way to Las Vegas. So we're going to be live, both of us, in the Sin City, the March Madness capital of the world right now, Las Vegas, for Mountain West Tournament week. Got the UNM women tonight, semifinal game against Colorado State. Men versus Nevada tomorrow. Got New Mexico State coming up on Friday. Pac-12 West Coast Conference Championship game tonight. Gonzaga, St. Mary's. It's popping here in Vegas. 246-0610 is the phone number. Terry, you're on the opening drive. Good morning, Terry. How you doing?
Can you hear me?
I got you, Terry. What's up?
Can you hear me now? Yeah. I was more wondering, I was always a Rogers apologist, but I think he's sold out and they'll be in cap hell 3 years from now. But then I also, from your hope of your Broncos now, did that just go out the window, or is it now, can we get Russell Wilson? Can you get him? Because a lot of teams that were hoping for Rodgers now are like, well, what do we get? Jimmy G or who else is out there? So I was kind of sad when he demanded so much money. I never thought he would be needing to apply for food stamps. Rodgers just that, but he held them to the fire, and like I say, 3 years from now, and it is bizarre how you can get paid that much money, and the cap number this year went down for them. So they'll pay for it in the future from that standpoint. But I just wanted to kill a couple minutes for you. I wanted you to be able to save your voice for tonight. You got a game. Just being lighthearted when you're talking about betting on games, and they always have the bad beats on ESPN. It would be kind of ironic sometime if they showed some announcer on the sideline if somebody drained a three to cut the lead from 9-6 at the end of a game, and see some announcer grab his headset and throw it, just like, oh, I wonder if he had some money on the game. But from that standpoint, like I said, always appreciate the show. Hope you're having a fun time out there, and wish the Lady Lobos and Men Lobos the best. But I don't know what your Broncos are now, if you're still going to be a Bridgewater, or who's going to be your quarterback. So not to rub it in, but I hope you guys find a QB. So you have a good day,
Terry.
JJ. Take care.
Appreciate the phone call. Yeah, now you look at different Broncos, they were the team rumored the most to be in contention for Aaron Rodgers. I have to change, and you have to look towards the draft. Right, you want to bring back Teddy Bridgewater and Drew Lockett and try that again. You know that there's not a high ceiling there. I think you could keep Teddy Bridgewater around and then bring in a quarterback, Malik Willis. He turned a lot of heads at the Combine, the quarterback from Liberty. I think he'll be the first quarterback off the board. But then you still have Kenny Pickett, Sam Howell, Carson Strong is in this draft class. Feels like Carson Strong, the Nevada quarterback, probably a second-round pick, but got a big, strong-arm quarterback that's mobile. I think he's 6'6", and that's a cutoff. If you're taller than 6'6", I ain't going to draft you because it's not going to work out. But that's a team like Denver, that feels they're close, but what other options are out there? And is Russell Wilson really on the table? As much as that conversation has been out there, is Seattle want to move on from him? Because just like Aaron Rodgers, Seattle is still in position to feel like they can turn things around and compete with Russell Wilson at the quarterback position. And now for Aaron Rodgers, you got that bag, and what you're saying is, hey, regardless, I'm that dude that's going to keep us competitive. Now, you can't come out there and say he doesn't have enough. If this does hinder them, say, in free agency, but all this stuff is magic. You can kick all the things you want down the road, cap hits, all this stuff. Probably going to pay Devontae Adams. Still got Aaron Jones, A.J. Dillon in the backfield. And it hit the draft. And you try to find some people. But with Aaron Rodgers, it's all on him now, man. He can't come out and say, well, I don't know if I have enough. Well, they just gave you $200 million to be enough. They just made you the highest paid player in NFL history to be enough. To be in that position again, you were putting an MVP season together, got a home game to go to the Super Bowl. Now try to win one of those games. But there you go. No longer playing the what-if game with Aaron Rodgers, locked in 4 years, $200 million. Wow, it is official. Steph, great work. Appreciate you coming in, hanging out with us. Adrian, ProView Network's fantastic. They are very busy with the state tournament the rest of the week. We'll talk with Sebastian Noel tomorrow, update you on everything that's going on in New Mexico with the high school basketball state tournaments. I want to thank Chris Jans, Mexico State head coach, for joining us today. Symbieta will be in Vegas this afternoon. We got you covered right here on The Sports Animal. Tonight, UNM women versus Colorado State, semifinal action. Pregame at 8 o'clock, tip-off 8:30 Mountain Time. What a day, and it's only going to continue to get bigger and better here from Las Vegas. Jim Rome Show coming up next. Colin Cowherd, the boys, tuning on with you at 4 o'clock, everybody. Metal, peace, and love. Talk to you tonight from the Thomas and Mack.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Kylie Ottman bodies that ball. Ava Love, wide open bucket. She drips through the air and knocks it home. So
out of the corner, no. Nora with the rebound, quickly get to the head to Louise. In transition, the left-hand layup is good for Luciano Webster.
oh, Lyra Corona, she has a chance to change that story. She does.
Diaz now with the ball. It's a 3-point lead. Montoya, she tries to equalize. Boom! Olivia Montoya with her second 3-ball of the second half.
There's an assist from half court on the inbounds pass.
That's a long shot. The laser shot. Holy cow. Closes down quickly. Garcia Romero for 2.
With the rebound here, Benjamin. Throw it up. He's going to throw it up to his big fella, and his third dunk of the night. Hey, remember, Greg Brown doesn't have any timeouts. They get it into Hill. Hill's going to have a chance to win it at the hole. Yeah! He does it! Hill bangs in the 3, and the Hawks win it 60-59.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.